Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's Monday and we're live. It's 1 p.m. I can't believe the time went by already, but we are here live. Holy mackerel, let's see here. What do we got here? The Rooster was first today. I appreciate that. Way early. Thank you for being here. And we are rolling. Swift, CRST Sue Swift. Can you believe it? They win. I don't agree with it. Celadon gets some money. Holy mackerel. They might not close after all. Heard about some Schneider layoffs. Is that a problem? I don't know if it is. We can get into all that today and whatever else you have going on in your life. Trucker Hershey, thank you for being here. Luke1234 is interesting that you are here on I-81. What's going on over there? They didn't put any tolls up yet, I hope. And I'll transition that early because I forgot last week as usual. All right, so we are back. Kay Wayne, thanks for being here. Always a good time having you here. Mad Maldy, what's going on? Trucker Todd, yes, an insider source confirmed I am going to start at Celadon. I am also providing their funding, which I just decided to go ahead and do and write them that check. So that will keep them in business. By the way, their stock's $1.70 today, so that's pretty awesome. We'll talk about that. George Costanza is here. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Thank you for being here today. Trucking Truth, yeah, that what a thing. I can't believe I have a hate thread on there. That's awesome. Super Luigi is here for the first time. Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for being here. DA is here. Yeah, I saw about that driver. He had pulled over or whatever, and the truck basically ran him over. He kind of ran himself over. I kind of think he didn't set his parking brake. That's what it seems like, right? But, yeah, that's terrible. Always set your parking brake. And get done in your life whatever you need to do, seriously, because you never know when that last day comes for you. That's a great way to start the show, Mark. Awesome. Chef Robert, what's happening today? Have I done a video on Celadon? Yes, I did do a video on Celadon. Big, huge Mike is here. Thanks for coming in today. GSXR is here. Amanda, thanks for coming in today. I appreciate you being here. Let's see. Controversial. Thanks. That's a good name. Now that I read it faster, I got it. Stephen Bond. Stephen Bond. Love it. Sam is here. Thanks for being here in Denver. Jedediah. Getting loaded in Indianapolis. Yeah, I haven't been going through there because the road closed. They just opened 70 last weekend. So maybe I'll check that out and see how it's running again today. Solitary Soldier. Thanks for being here today. Kim is here. You just cut them a check. Did you also write that check for them? You're dropping off at Dollar Tree. Do you have to hand unload there at that Dollar Tree? Joe is here. Thanks for being here. And JJ. Hi from South Bend, George Costanza. All right. Leaving the shipper to Columbus, Ohio. You still smell Gary. Yeah. You know, we moved out from Hammond many years ago down here and don't regret it at all. Only go up there to visit now. Good afternoon, Jamie. Predatory contracts need to be outlawed. I agree. We can get into this thing. Why CRST won, and I don't think they should have won, or they should have been booted out of court immediately with this lawsuit. James Gazillo from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Yikes, Brooklyn! What's going on? Hey, what's happening in Brooklyn? Jason, 1 hour workout is here. Too many mega carriers don't care how much they get per mile. Yes. They don't. That's putting a lot of other people out of business. Steel Horse is here for the cat photos, which there'll be those, of course, today. Kenworth, about 700 plus layoffs. Yeah, but there weren't really that many layoffs. That's the problem. A lot of it were people in the office, although that's still a layoff, I guess. Thanks for saying that, Amanda. I'll do a video on McLean. Yeah, what is up with their grocery division? What do you say about that? No tolls on 81. No, they're talking about tolling the whole thing. Red Wine is here. 5, thanks for coming in. Nasty Habits, no, love it. Tony says, good afternoon from Amarillo, Texas. And Damon, did I do a video on rail? No, I haven't done a video on rail. I'm kind of up in the air on that place. Jose, Coca-Cola in Draper, Utah. Wow. Brother's name is James. Got stuck with Steve. Hey, it still works, right? I'm sure I'm not the first one to say that. Trucker was found guilty of stabbing a co-driver of a messy cab, JJ. Yeah, I saw that too. Some guy got arrested. He had his co-driver, the cab wasn't clean enough. He stabbed him. He goes, hey, oh yeah, you're going to clean this cab one way or another, right? He made a point of his what he was saying. Holy mackerel. Get it? Hello, Chris checking in from Orlando. What's going on? Philadelphia's in the house at your journey. Kim is here. Oh, you're last in the Walmart account already? I thought it was great. You hit a notorious yellow deer on accident. You moved back to over the road because you missed the open road. What is a yellow deer? Am I thinking that's a pole or something? I don't know what I'm talking about. Dollar Tree, 42,000 pounds worth of product. Love it. That's a great hand unload. At least not too hot. Dixie Fellow from Anna, Texas. Dominican Surface. It's true, a YouTuber, trucking exec, owner of flower company going to jail. I don't know. I saw some headline about that. I didn't watch the video or anything, so I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, to be honest with you, because all I saw is the headline. So you probably know more about it than me. Antoine, you're getting loaded in Jersey. Yeah, it's horrible unless you get paid for it. They did say they'd give you a nice Peterbilt over at Smith. Good. What else are they going to give you at Smith, right? Hello from hot San Antonio, Texas. Wow. Corey, that is great. I can never forget that, as we know, right? Well, Bill says it's hot and 85 in Chicago. It's a little humid. It's kind of, I can't imagine two jobs I would not like today would be like unloading Dollar Tree and like being a spot or something. Those both sound like really hot jobs. Sitting at Spartan Nash, getting unloaded 5 hours now. I hope you're getting paid for that. John, hello from Pittsburgh. Mr. Chapstick is here. Got a lot of video advertisements from Rail on your YouTube. Oh, really? Yeah, they are one of these places that advertise heavily with this kind of stuff, certainly. That's what the cat thinks about those kind of advertisements. Just because they run the most ads doesn't mean they're the best place, certainly. Just because, they run a lot of ads, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Kay Wayne says it's 88 in Albuquerque. That is great. That's a nice day. So CRST sues Swift. They say, look, Swift, you guys are poaching all of our drivers. We're the best company, and we're suing you. And so what they said is that drivers would go to Swift, and when Swift would submit the employment verification to CRST, CRST would tell them, hey, this person has a contract with us. And so Swift would just still continue to hire them anyway, because CRST would be required to say, yeah, they have this much experience or whatever. They can't, lie about it. So they sued Swift and said, you can't poach our drivers. And, I don't agree. You know why? Swift doesn't have a contract with CRST. The students do. So, I wrote to somebody about this, and I thought it was a pretty good example. It's probably not. You're an artist, and CRST hires you to paint paint art for them, and they go, you have to paint art for us for a year, but I beg you to paint a picture of me and put it on the wall, an oil painting. And you do it. And I pay you, and that's it. So then CRST sues me. No, I don't have a deal with CRST to not buy from you. You have a deal with them to not sell to me. So Swift has nothing in this. And the person they're not suing, the students. So although I don't agree with these contracts that are all like this, where you can't work anywhere or whatever, I don't like that. But it's still the deal with the students signed up for it, not Swift. Swift has no deal with them. They shouldn't have to pay anything. You're allowed to work wherever you want. CRST can go after the student, but how hard would that be to go after thousands of students when you can just go after one company at a time? They should have lost that lawsuit. Should have lost it. Kim says you're on your way home in Virginia right now, just focused on avoiding another speeding ticket. Has there been a resolution to the first ticket? Have they done anything about that one yet? I'd sort of like to know how that one goes. Flatbed is hot. Rail is a joke. See, I got a lot of mixed things from them. Truck and Pop-Up is dump trucking in Virginia. See, that probably pays better than a lot of these things. Antoine, picking up an oversized load, well, those are usually the best way to do it. Today is your birthday. Kim turns 24. Well, that's pretty awesome. Happy birthday. I wish I had a birthday thing to put up there. I don't have one. I didn't know in advance. Marty, what's the subject? We have several things, including Celadon may not close, CRST suing Swift and getting money. Unbelievable. Among other things, is Schneider layoffs, is that a problem? What do I think about Alan Ritchie? I don't know anything about Alan Ritchie. Trucking. Corey, 91 in San Antonio with a heat index of 98. That's typical, right? You can never forget that place, though. Splendid Crew, right. Trucking company, exactly. What is anybody from Alan Ritchie here? Maybe they can give a good, better reading on it, really. That's a good thing about the live show. There's people from tons of different companies. Jelly Bean is glad I'm feeling better. What do I think about these jet programs with Schneider? I think it's an interesting way to truck. And, they hire people in Hawaii and Alaska for that. So, because they're running ads, and I've seen that. You can get on with Schneider, and they'll fly you to where they need you for the time and then fly you back home. I think they call it a jet setter or something like that. So I think it's a interesting way to drive a truck. And especially if you live in East Armpit, Nowhere land, you can at least get a job and get on somewhere. Schneider still runs his household goods miles. So, they can pay to fly people around, but can't pay you the decent wage that they ought to pay. I think that's interesting. George Costanza, the state flower should be the orange traffic cone of Indiana, right? You don't know how you guys drive. It's horrible. Indiana's the worst roads in the nation. Where the tax dollars go? We have a large surplus in Indiana, so we just hold it in case we need it for something. But apparently not roads. I try to stay off the interstate if at all possible. The judge must be invested in CRST. Yeah, I just didn't like the way it was set up. I don't think that they should have won. I think that CRST should have lost that lawsuit. Because they don't have a deal with Swift. They have a deal with the driver. That's who you'd sue for breach. Swift didn't breach any contract with CRST. They didn't have a contract. I guess I should say now, too, before somebody writes to the bar, I'm not a lawyer. So that's not a legal opinion before somebody says something. Mark, you're not a lawyer. I know that. Okay. Swift's attorneys will appeal the verdict and tie it up in court without paying. Well, they said they were considering whether they should appeal. I agree with you that they probably will, but they haven't appealed yet. They should. Court date for the ticket is tomorrow. You'll email and let me know. Yeah, let me know how that goes. I'm really curious on how that is going to play out on your ticket for that one. And if it's a collect, if you need to call collect, I guess we'll take that collect call from you in case 15-minute collect call, right? I'm going to steal final mile driver here in Virginia. Oh, really? So are you out of the program here soon? I was on the oversized division at 55 cents, but weren't getting any miles. Oversized would need to pay really good. Like ATS is 65 cents or percentage to start because you wouldn't get as many miles. I agree with that. Chrome Daddy is ready to be entertained. Well, we'll see what we can do about that. Sam Ritchie's a mail contractor. Oh, okay. You don't know much. See them around. Well, they're going to pay whatever the contracted United States postal rate is. In Indianapolis, what I've seen is $22, $23 an hour in some of these places, plus like $4 or $5 an hour, up to 40 hours for your benefits and no overtime. That's how it works in Indianapolis. I don't know if Alan Ritchie does the same way, but they would have to follow whatever the contractor rate is. It's 84 in Draper, Utah. That is not terrible. Splendid crew. Your buddy Brett drove 1 million miles. Could get his shout out. Brett Rothis drove 1 million miles. That's great. Get him on the show. That's pretty awesome to get 1 million miles. That's the way to do it. That's a whole career of driving and make a career out of that. And we think that's great here. That even Gracie thinks that's really something. So there you go on that. 1 million miles is really good. Congratulations. Gerald, thanks you for saying that. Great show. Wild Bill, Illinois is known for its corruption. No, I don't know what you're talking about, Wild Bill, really. Patrick Hartford, good day, folks. Some will leave it at that. Hey, Mark, love the show. Like the content. Thank you very much. Fatty 2x4 with one of the best names on YouTube. Massive line at the Beacon in Houston. Really? Is it sunny out finally down there? What is it? All TMC trucks in line? Who's putting remarks on an owner-operator's DAC report? Brokers? I don't know if a broker can put a remark on a DAC report. Isn't that for employees? Right? I don't exactly know how it's set up. I never thought about it like that. I thought it was for the employer to put for the employees. So the only one that would put a remark on your DAC should be your employer, which would be you if you own the truck. Antoine, Swift will be able to cough up that money. That's true, but they shouldn't have to pay it, even if it was $1. When it's not gotten correctly. The contract is with the student. Now, the contracts, whether they're any good or not, of course, they're horrible. But it's still with the student. Jedediah is got loaded and going to catch me later. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. For people that are new or whatever, I do this show live every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Alex, out of the automotive program, that's for sure. Yeah, exactly. There's a knocker here, right? Hey, Mark, what's going on? Alex, I have a Class A, but haven't found a job for Class A. Then you found the Class B job that pays good. If it pays equal, do it. Some of them pay pretty good, and I think Hogan is running an ad in Indianapolis, because that's where I look all the time, for a Class B straight truck driver, home every day, $900 a week salary. So that's not terrible in a straight truck. You said that's not much. Well, to run a straight truck, a B truck around town, that's not terrible. Schneider just laid off a chunk of its company the size of your entire company. That's true, but they have a lot of people, and a lot of them were office people. The drivers will just get absorbed in like a plague into the rest of the place. Trucker Hershey had a load where 10,000 was 2/3 of the trailer, and the next stop added 22,000, and the back 1/3. Love it. Rear tandem was 33,880, and the front was 19,000. It drove funny. Yeah, nice way to swing the load down the road. Who figured that load? What kind of broker or dispatch figured that out? Okay, B says it's Maverick Transportation there. All right, Gerald, I tell all my students to watch you. I thank you very much. I appreciate that. Tell them to write if they have questions or whatever, too. Swift needs to sell some of its trucks now. Oh, to pay that, they'll sell just a few of their empty trucks. Alice checking in on vacation at the Jersey Shore. Wow. It's gorgeous compared to North Mississippi. Really? North Mississippi must be a crap hole then. Jersey Shore, I don't know. Is it nice out there? I mean, can you smell the rest of the state too? It's great that you're on vacation, and thanks for checking in, though. How about the Waukett Shepherd's drivers laid off come to Schneider for 5 cents less? Oh, is that how they're going to do it, so they'll absorb you and you take a pay cut? Well, look, that's business, right? So that's your choice. You can stay for a pay cut or move somewhere else. It just depends what you're going to do, right? If you want the nickel, make a phone call. You can get a 10% raise, just leave Schneider and go somewhere else that gets paid practical miles. Wild Bill says 1 million miles is impressive. Yeah, not that many people get to 1 million. So many people only get a few thousand and then leave. Jose, are the hours of service going to change? No, I should have put that in there. July 31st was supposed to be the day that the FMCSA announced the changes. Oh, we're going to announce on the 31st. Well, it came and went, and they finally put out a release that said, look, we don't have a new date. We're not going to talk anything about it, and we don't know when the date's going to be. They said it was that it was pulled by Office of Management and Budget for, how did they put it? I want to put it the right way, right? They said for business reasons, to make it more business friendly. That's what they said. They wanted to make the rules more business friendly. So what does that mean? Less driver friendly, probably. So then I can assume that we're going to get an extension of the hours to 16. That's what I think. Now, people put out videos. I saw this over the weekend. Here's the new rules. They didn't announce any new rules. Okay, no rules have been announced. But saying it's more business friendly, I got to assume they're going to extend the 14 to 16 as on-duty time that you can take, where you can take 2 hours off and extend your day. That's what I think now after saying that. But there's been no official announcement, certainly, on anything. Can we get a Blue Parrot break? Of course. It's always time for a Blue Parrot. You should always wear it while you're driving, naturally. Because it's illegal to not have it. There's a lot of, you can't even really touch anything. So checking and where hours are going to change, right? That's what I was saying. So there's been no announcement. I saw some videos. Oh, here's the announcement. They didn't make an announcement. Nothing. That's true. Then no announcement. So ABP 5000. If I keep telling the truth, I wanted many friends. That's the thing, right? But did you have friends to start with? If you're not willing to rattle cages, and shake things up, then what's life about, really? What is life? Just to get along and be liked by everybody, as Schwarzenegger said, in his 7 rules of success. You can't just go through life wanting to be liked by everybody. That's no kind of life. Trucker Hershey moved the rear tandem to the rear, scaled 21 on the front and 31 on the rear. The bridge law, well, it just depends on the bridge, right, on the state. How far apart were you from the kingpin to the center of the rear axle? So these weights don't matter as much as the distance. It's a spacing problem, not a weight problem generally. So where were the tandems based on, on the trailer, from the back of the trailer? Because the kingpin is 3 feet from the front of a standard 53-foot trailer. So you have 50 feet left. So depending on the state, you can depend on where you put the tandems. And some states don't care. So it just depends. Like, Ohio, there's no law. So you can have them all the way back. Did Schneider lay off any independent contractor drivers? I don't think so. And ironically, they wouldn't be laid off legally, right? Because they're independent. But no, I don't think there were many independents on that. This was a final mile. A lot of this was final mile stuff, which is, I have a link to the article there, I believe. And no, I didn't put the link in this. Boy, Mark, you're really great here. I did not put the link, but you can check it out. There's tons of people wrote about it. And the way it looks, it was not any independent contractors. Swift deserves everything they've gotten. Well, that may be true, but if they're not responsible, they shouldn't pay the fine. They shouldn't have to pay it. U.S. Express, Gary wants to know about U.S. Express, Night, or Swift. All right, let's see what people think about that. What do you think a driver would lose her safety bonus? They were in an accident they were not cited for. Other party was cited. Yeah, depending, Pat Oaks, on the company, they will. Believe it or not, some companies will make you lose your, where I am, right? You'd lose your bonus for that. And even if you get a ticket in your own car that you then get out of, you still get in trouble for it. I don't agree with it. Because as soon as you get a ticket, this is most places, you have to report it, but you're punished for it immediately, whether you get out of it or not. So I would say, yeah, a lot of places would do that. Wild Bill, live on the net. When did that start? Oh, this is a new thing, Wild Bill, that I'm just giving a try out to see how it goes. For people that this month's blog, too, I should put that out there, right, always, on the Trucking Answers Nation. I'm looking back over 2 years. This month is 2 years for Trucking Answers. So I'm just giving a look back in the blog this month if you want to check it out. I think it's pretty interesting. I like writing that, so I just write that out. It doesn't cost anything to go read it or anything. Steel Horse, Schneider's laying off final mile division kind of gives a new meaning to the final mile. Oh, that's good. This is your literal final mile on this. But they tried to step into a lane that they're not in. Schneider, a truckload carrier around the United States, and they're trying to do all this home refrigerator delivery, and there are already lots of people doing it. So we almost expected it. If on your route where you're wheeling loads of fresh produce down a staircase, yeah, that's a lot of work. PC not able to advance load, Iowa DOT thought. Exact. Well, you can't advance your load on personal conveyance. That's true. How do I feel about Rich Logistics? I don't know anything about them. What do people think about that? Corey, did I hear about Prime suing Amazon? Yeah, I did a video about that because it's so confusing. When you see a Prime trailer, that was the problem, and an Amazon Prime trailer, we don't know the difference. I mean, lots of people sent pictures and go, what is this, Mark? Is there any way to tell? It's impossible to tell. And that's what Prime's contention is, that Amazon should stop using that name, even though Amazon trademarked it before Prime did. Prime forgot to trademark their own name, the morons. You've worked for McLean Grocery Division for a year and a half. You work 3 to 4 days. Teams average 75 benefits day one and have a minimum of 52,000, so 1,000 a week. Splendid crew. That's pretty good. If is everybody there a team, though? Do you think CF is going to back? Do I think CF ever going to what, come back? A Wild Bell says, who do I drive for? Well, we never get that question here. But for new people that may not know, I don't ever say who I drive for. That keeps them out of my videos. And oh my gosh, every driver out there is recruiting for their company. I've been here 3 days. This is the best place. Put your name down. I don't do any of that. Okay, that's all garbage. Drivers, if you haven't been in a place for some time, you don't know if it's any good. You've been there a week. How do you know how good of a place it is? So I also don't recruit for places, certainly. And that's how I leave it. It keeps them out of my videos, and I think it works out best that way. John, a long name. Is it inconsiderate to park a bobtail in a long spot? If there's bobtail parking, or if you could park in the car lot, then yes. If you can take a spot somewhere else, because that spot, for someone with a trailer has to park in there. So I think so. Unless there's no other spots. Then you're at the truck stop. It's a spot for you. But if you can park somewhere else, park somewhere else. What's the deal with Celadon getting $165 million? Well, they're about to get $165 million. 2,000 tractors they're going to buy in the next 3 quarters. All right, 2,000 new tractors. They got funding. Their stock's up 8% today. It's up to $1.70. Now, mind you, it was $3.09 in April, and it was $27 4 years ago. But hey, we're at 1/27th of what it was, 22nd. But still, it's going up. They secured some funding. They're going to buy new trucks, and they said they're staying in business. So they wouldn't release who funded them. Splendid crew right now. My bid work Tuesday through Friday, but you have to team there. Dominican Scarface, you like how I respond to every comment, no matter if it's a question or anything. Keep that going. I try to get to everybody. Once in a while, I do have to skip ahead, or sometimes I lose my spot, but I do try to get to all the comments. Currently 18, just passed your CDL test. Wow. Officially a CDL holder. Any recommendations for young drivers? Yes. Keep your record clean. Keep your record clean. That's probably the most important thing you can do. Keep a clean record. And if you're going to go drive at 18, which you can, interstate, try and keep that job for those 3 years, until you turn 21 and then can do whatever you want. So at 21, you could potentially have 400,000 or 500,000 miles of experience, depending how big your state is, in 3 years experience. That's really something. You could be way ahead of most people. You could certainly have 300,000, I would think, unless you live in Rhode Island or something. Oh, that would stink. You live in Rhode Island, I guess you can get hourly. Schneider couldn't figure out who your manager was after you finished training, so you quit after they left me at home for a week without even so much as an assigned truck. Did they put that on your DAC? I mean, that could be a real problem. They can consider that some kind of voluntary quit without notice. That guy, hey, do I work? Where do I work? I think, well, Bill just covered that. Just kidding. Glad to be here on Monday. Thanks for the hard work. Thank you for saying that, and I appreciate you being here. Iowa DOT officer told you in December. Yes. Can't advance that. James says I'm doing a great job. I appreciate that. That's a great policy, Wild Bill says. Thank you. Thank you. It just started. I was thinking about hotshot hauling, selling your Kenworth and buying a new pickup. What do I think? I don't know anything about hotshot hauling, an independent contractor. I will say to people, right, I'm a company driver, so I don't have that much information about, even owning your own truck, although there are people on here that do own their own truck in the chat and everything. And I don't own a truck, and I certainly don't own a hotshot, so I wouldn't know what to say about it. Splendid Crew Pepsi in Burnsville, Minnesota pays $90,000. That's really good. It is the taste of a new generation as well. So, I mean, there's something to be said about that. I wonder if we took the challenge, if that would work. Does anybody remember the Pepsi challenge? I don't know what I'm talking about. You must wear it, make it a parrot. Oh, that's really good too. I like it. I got back into trucking last month after years of being a non-driving holder, but a guaranteed weekly pay and has a union. I love it. Way better off than over the road. Look, getting paid for your time, what could be better than that, right? And a guarantee, right? I have a guarantee as well. I love it. I recommend a guarantee because you don't have to worry that you're going to make less. You'll never make less than that amount. That's one of the best things, I think, to come into trucking. Someone was looking for you. There are better companies than Schneider. There are. Often they think they're going to pass the 65 miles an hour to trucks. Maybe. It's going farther than I thought it would go. So it has some chance of passing, yeah. You've got pictures of a CR England flatbed? Yeah, send those to me. I'd love to see that. U.S. Express, more like Useless Express. I've seen Swift carrying U.S. Express trailers. Yeah, they have an interchange agreement. All these large companies, they'll have an interchange with other carriers. So sometimes you'll see them with different company trailers. That's not a big problem. What's the topic? Right. We got a Swift is suing, gets sued. Celadon's getting some money. Schneider's laying off people. What about May Trucking? No thanks. I'm not paying my money to idle the truck. I'm not doing it. And 61 miles an hour for the trucks? Maybe 62. Forget that. Right. No way. Big Huge Mike loses your bonus for truck-related incidents. Okay, so see, they're not as strict. Here, you lose it even if you get tickets here in your car, they'll fire you. If you get enough tickets, never having an incident in a truck. I believe it's 3 tickets here. In your car, you're fired. So just like that, you're fired. All right. There's somebody famous said that. Did you hear about Schneider setting down a subsection? Yeah, look, this is this final mile thing. Schneider went into home refrigerator delivery. No, that's not their thing. So when you start out a new thing that's not your thing, you may not be that good at it, especially when a lot of other people are doing it. Big Huge Mike says you've been at your company 6 years and that's a big bonus to lose. Yeah, I agree. So does that bonus make you safer? I've always wondered about that. Does that kind of bonus, does that stick in your mind to be safer? I think people are just safe anyway, right? I mean, I could lose in my car, whatever, but I'm safe anyway. I'm not thinking, I'm going to lose that bonus, JJ, congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon to GP Transco. They are in the house, but he has questions for GP Transco's here. I like to see trucking companies in there as well. One of my favorites here, GP Transco. So there we go for them. Thank you for coming in here today. I appreciate you coming in. JJ says doing a service to the truckers. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The critic, Swift starts at a higher mileage, cheaper tuition, a lot of drop and hook. Look, I've said, Swift is not certainly the worst place to start. They had a bad reputation over the years, certainly earned, but they're doing better. They don't have a contract. The tuition's not terrible there. it's not a horrible place. There's a lot worse places you could start. Now, I still think you should go to truck school on your own if you can do it. That's certainly the way to do it. If the trailers have holes in the rails all the way back, use them as long as you're legal. You can use them. It just depends on the state, right? I do stretch it out. I don't have them all the way forward unless you have to. Ben, 3 years at U.S. Express, Dollar General. What do you think? Did you hear about some TV show looking for the best truck drivers? Oh, that's interesting. I should have wrote that down. Stephen Bond. Okay, so on my Facebook page, I have a Facebook page, Trucking Answers. I did post a link to that. Okay, and I'm going to apply. It's legit. There's a TV show. I don't have the link here. I should have posted it. Duh, Mark. I don't even know why you do this, Mark. All right. Look, there's a TV show. They want the best truck driver in America. They'll fly you out if they choose you, and you'll do competitions, and you can win cash prizes or whatever. So if you got any experience, they want to talk to you. There's an email on my Facebook page at Trucking Answers. I posted it this weekend. I'm going to put my name in the hat to apply, and you should too. If you think you're the best driver or you just want to get on there and be a good driver, whatever it is, send them an email. I'm going to do that as well. If I'm on the show, it's going to be roller wieners for everybody. Truckers are awesome. A fat guy drinking beer. Thank you. We appreciate that. CeLo still surviving 4 months solo at CFI. Can't complain. CFI, the company with the best cup holders in the United States. Love them. Jim Trucker, I live in San Antonio. It's summertime, 11 months out of the year. Yeah, you do have it nice down there. So 48 feet looks like good as far as the chart goes. Illinois, only state to worry about. Dangerous to run like that in Risen. What's Risen? In the rain? Oh, no. Maybe that's rain. No. And Illinois, I don't think enforces it like some states. Some states are better at forcing than others. 48 feet is pretty far, but do you have 3 feet? So you're really at 45 feet. No sweat. As long as you're not going into California, you're fine then. The thing is that Amazon trailers don't say Amazon anywhere except for on the trailer door. No, some of the Amazon Prime trailers say it on the side too. They're fully blue painted. There's an Amazon warehouse 35 miles from here. They come out of there all the time. Steel Tiger's going to be a yard jockey for a while. Traffic's driving you nuts. No traffic, no scales, no logbook. Right. A lot of benefits to it. Doesn't usually pay as much. Around here, yards 17 to 19 an hour around here for ads that I see. But no problems. And I usually hear overtime. Big, huge Mike, if you're going to work for a mega carrier, it's not in writing. It never happened. Yes, if you're going to do it, make sure to do it right. That's very good advice, too. Get everything in writing and document everything. The McLean has solo and team routes. Teams make more money. Yeah, that's everywhere. Okay, I just wondered, since you said that, can solos go there? Trucker Hershey, Amazon should just add Amazon to the area, the half circle arrow pointing towards the word Prime. Are the trailers confusing? That's my question. They're not that confusing to me. But apparently someone at Prime was very confused about it. A fat guy drinking beer, great channel. Thank you very much. Day Cab Gear Jammer, a little late today. Uh-oh. Thank you for being here, though, Jose. Great job. Thanks for that. I believe McLean Food Service may be all solo routes, but they pay around $90. That's pretty good. You have to unload the trailer, correct, or no? So if we're a trailer unloading, is that all right? ABP, thank you for being consistent and honest. You appreciate the ethics. Thank you for saying that. I do appreciate that, because a lot of places call it, oh, we want to pay to get on or whatever. So I don't do any of that. So people know that from this Truck and Truth thing over the weekend, right? I don't take money from trucking companies to be on the channel at all, good or bad. In Rhode Island, there are a lot of hourly local jobs, but trying to find one that pays well is the problem. Well, they don't have a lot of competition there, you would think. In Rhode Island, how many trucking companies could there be? Can you answer your question about hotshot hauling? I said I don't know anything about hotshot hauling. That I'm just not an owner-operator. I've always been a company driver, and so I don't know anything about hotshot hauling. If somebody on here does know something about it, more power to them. I just don't know what to say about it. I've never done it and don't really know that much about it. I don't want to say something about it and it's not right or whatever. I don't know anything about it. Have I done a report on Gardner Trucking? No. GT40 is late from Southern California. Yikes. Getting your truck washed since no load today. Earth Sun Trucker. Keep it clean out there at least. Does the company pay for it always? Caleb, if you hotshot lease from Enterprise at 20 cents a mile, get a new truck every 50,000 miles. Inspection, everything comes with it. That's an interesting way to do it. I never heard of that. See, there we go. Trucking Truth acceleration rules. Trucking Truth banned me for Talking truth against their BS, just a recruiting website. Exactly. Once an astute viewer sent me that they have a thread about me and they ban comments that they don't like. I mean, what kind of thing is that? It only has to be good for, these mega carriers. Otherwise, they don't post it. And then they belittle people that say anything about it. If they do allow a comment, then 10 of them belittle that person. Oh, you're an idiot. One of them said, I'm not getting any miles here in England. I was reading that. And they're like, oh, you're an idiot. It's because you don't want to run. Obviously, there's miles there. How would they be such a company if they didn't have miles? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. People have sent me their checks week after week with comments, please give me miles, and nothing, okay? It isn't just because you're an idiot, okay? Maybe the company is stupid. How about that? But, of course, when they pay him to run ads on the channel, that's what happens. And he doesn't drive. Keep that in mind. David says, appreciate me and the channel. Thank you very much. I've been driving a flatbed since you started 11 months ago. Nice. Got GM blanks right now, headed to Indiana. If it matters, it's 85 degrees. Where's the GM plant? Oh, you're going to Fort Wayne? Are you going to go to Fort Wayne with the blanks? Sierra England should have been Crap Company of the Year. You all voted, though. Acceleration's beautiful run from Portland to Chicago. Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's the way to run up there. No traffic. There's probably parking, easier, everything. That's the way to go, but not in January, of course. Sierra England hauls pods containers around the western states. That explains the flatbed. I know. I'm still waiting to see one of those, though. George H.W. Bush, thank you for being here today, Mr. President. I know that you're busy with all your duties in the afterlife, so thank you for coming in. And I also said duty, which I think is hilarious. One of the drivers in our orientation day was being paid 40 cents a mile with 4 years experience and a clean driving record. Hard to believe, says GP Transco. It really is. I mean, the low pay that you get slipped by places is really surprising. And I bet that driver was happy to come to see everybody there at GP Transco. No doubt about it. At 4 years with a good record at 40 cents, no, that is not acceptable. What's the email so you could send pics of Sierra England? Is that not right there on the screen? I believe I'm on the screen with it, right? There it is, right. So the email is on the screen. Mark at truckinganswersnation.com. Can get a VEL holders can get a job anywhere. Who are they kidding? Will fire you, laugh. Right. CDL holders, right, can get a job. Alex, I get 40-hour guarantee and $1,000 a week of the steel company you work for. Sorry for the response. See, that's not bad. So you get a guarantee. Always say guarantee worth it, because if there's some kind of problem, you're still going to get your money. They're still going to pay you those that money, those banana skins. Alex is done between noon to 3 p.m. That's good. If that's what you want. I'm kind of an evening person. I don't like getting up early. I just don't like it. Big Huge Mike doesn't think about the bonus just being nice, rewarded for being safe. Exactly. That's how I thought it worked, right? Especially since you're one of the few who make sure every trailer's safe and gets repaired. That's very frustrating, believe me. But I agree. The bonus you get, it's like an extra. You're going to be safe or not. I don't think that most drivers probably think, oh, I better not do that because of the bonus. They're just safe drivers, and the bonus is like an extra check. It's like a bonus. A super trucker would like to know what owner-operators make at GP Transco. All right, well, they're on here. They can answer that. I didn't know they had them. Maybe they do. Need a private channel? Yeah, private channel. Private channel wouldn't get it. Nobody would see it. Hey, Kenneth P., what's going on? Thanks for being here. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you coming in. GP Transco's polite drivers. You met one Friday. Great guy. That's good. I would say all companies have good and bad drivers, right? But that's excellent. And, they're giving them nice trucks over there, so they should be, right? Trucker Josh is going to be a good candidate for the best trucker show. You're not your father's root beer. 6% alcohol. Great over ice. Yikes. Okay, there it is. GP Transco's answered that. I figured they would. Outdoor Hillbilly is great to be here. Thank you for coming in. Super Trucker is at 8% of rates. I don't have any idea. Stephen Bond, is your Facebook page Trucking Answers? Yes, everything is Trucking Answers. Facebook, right, wherever it is, it's Trucking Answers. I should have brought that here. I didn't even think about it this morning. But so the link, there is a link over there. It's probably a couple things back. I don't know. It's very recent from this weekend. It's post to that, and, it's just an email, and it's legit. I checked into it from the producers of the TV show. So, email them your information and see if you get a response. James has my vote for best truck driver. Thank you. I wish it was a vote like that. That would really be good. Wow, Bill, I'd rather be unemployed. Well, I've heard that you being a yard jockey is not good, but I guess maybe that's the only job in the area, and so you might have to take that kind of job. Steel Tiger, wife and kids need me home more. Yeah, the wife, look, at every job. That's the one thing about being over the road, especially for new people, okay? It's a tough road, and that's why many drivers have 7 wives or whatever. You know, I'm happy that I was able to keep one wife all this time, but that doesn't happen that often. It's not a great life if you have kids or a wife or anything like that. You're gone all the time. You know, being gone for weeks, you see your kid barely more than I see him. And, you know, that's just not a great life. It just isn't. Fortunately, now, people with a family can go local and really almost never be gone. It's way better than it was. The Prime situation, if you cannot tell the difference between Prime logo and Amazon Prime logo, there are 2 different designs. Something I need to get their eyes checked. Yeah, it's not like it's close. It's not like it's the same script or close. They're totally different. They're totally different. And the Prime, Amazon Prime trailers are blue. At least the ones here, they're all painted blue. And the Prime, ink trailers are white. New Prime, I should say. McLean drivers earn their money. It's a job for the young. It does seem like a lot of work, you know. McLean, you have to load on trailer ramps with a 2-wheeler. They have shuttles that you can run, get the domicile, and unload empty totes. That wouldn't be too bad. The shuttles would be my kind of thing. This unloading is for you young people. Once you get to your extreme upper 30s, it's tough doing that kind of work. Member of the TAS, good morning, good afternoon. From Kansas, going back to Chicago for 5 days. Good. I used to live at 1800 North Whipple, up there in Chicago, near North at Armitage, in that area. So all the emissions junk on your truck is giving you problems. I was thinking of eliminating it all. I don't think you're allowed to, number one, legally, so we have to say that. And certainly no warranty, and no dealer will ever work on the truck without the emissions on it. So there's that problem, too. Freedom of speech protects unpopular speech. I guess so. Hello, Roderick. What's going on? Stephen Bond. Seen a hotshot going on paper logs. Driver with 1 passenger at another. I guess they would follow any other rules if it's a commercial vehicle on logging. Big Huge Mike, your personal opinion on this emission stuff is to read the manual of the truck. You'll have less headache the more you know about the truck you're using. I guess some of the older ones have had problems. I haven't had any emissions-related problems on this 17 that I have, which I got new. So it's been pretty good. We had a couple of them that had DEF problems, but I didn't have any problems on it. I do know eliminating it, no dealer work, and really no legit shop probably works on it because they're not allowed to, and no warranty. All the warranty is done. Jelly Bean, quick tip for drivers applying with these job search companies. Hackers use the sites, an official name for never apply. There's these job search things. I see them. Oh, apply here and we send it out to a million places. Don't do that, okay? Who knows where that information goes? You want to talk to a company, talk to them directly. Why would you want to apply, say, to 40 companies all at once anyway? You want to know about the company, if it's right for you, can they get you home, whatever it is that you need. So don't just blast apply to a lot of places. And it's no good for the company either. They got to go through all these applications. So it's bad on both sides. It just seems like a way, like they're saying, to get all your information. Wow, Bill, Sear England seems to have their hand in every aspect of trucking. Oh, I think you made a misspelling there. How do you contest things on your DAC? Okay, that is a video that's going to come out, and Steel Horse is on here who can give you more information on that, who successfully did that. That is awesome. First, last name, where do I work? Yeah, well, that's been 20 minutes. I don't ever say where I work for new people, right? And that keeps them out of my videos. I don't recruit for my company. No recruiting bonus. James Faust, you need a note for being late. We'll give you a pass today for being late, and thank you for coming in. Good info, Jelly Bean. I hate the fact that they want so much personal info for information, not for the application. Yeah, I mean, those sites, you don't want to apply. You don't want to apply to companies you've never talked to. You don't know what they pay, when they get you home. Maybe it's a company that has a policy of you're out for 5 weeks. That's okay, as long as they're upfront with it. But why would you want to apply there? So no way. A million milers shouldn't have to follow DOT hours of service rules. No, Rashad Thomas. I am against what you're saying. Here's why. Because like me, I go in, so I've been there all these years and I have a lot of miles, and they're going to go, well, you don't have any hours of service rules. So not after you're done, you can drive another 14 hours after you're done with that 10 hours. And that's how it would work. You'll be abused at that. And so the driver would say no, but then they could fire you because they're not asking you to violate any rule. See, like right now, if they ask you to violate the rules and then fire you if you won't do it, that's not allowed. But since you don't have any rules, they can say you got to drive 24 hours. And if you go no, they go, you're fired. So no way. I don't think so. Dave Johnson, sorry I'm late. In Buffalo, perfecting the buffalo wing roller wiener. Oh, that sounds really delicious. Well, Bill has questions for GP. Okay, James Faust is late. Let's string him up. We'll give him a pass. We appreciate everybody coming in here today. Kenneth drove past Springfield, Missouri. Looks like Prime expanded. Now they appear to be bigger than the state of Rhode Island. Well, that's true. Just the basketball courts, home theater. They have a theater in the place and stuff. I mean, the headquarters is pretty nice. ABP, you always got to wonder if the headquarters is that nice, though. How long are you there if they put a theater in the headquarters? We'll never be late again. Never be late again 1,000 times and email it. Yes. Caleb, your dad was married 3 different women at the same time in 3 states. Yikes. How do you keep track of all of them? It's hard enough to keep track of one woman and keep her happy. Sam, I was a yard jockey for 3.5 years. It was a good experience, and it taught me the basics of backing. It's a good way to learn how to back, right? And plus, I started out as a local driver, my first job out of truck school. Graduate Thursday, go to work Friday or a Monday as a local driver. So that's a good way to start out backing too. My load is 40,000 pounds of apples. Is it okay to eat one when nobody's looking? Well, no. That's still stealing. It's like eating at a grocery store. But if it happens to fall out of the truck or something, that's another story. Ralph, did I see the video where the driver's trying to destroy his truck? I don't know what video that might be. James Faust, loved the new Roller Wiener t-shirt, ordered yours today. Did you really? Thank you very much. I put this out there and I should show it to Bright. It is Roller Wiener Monday. So I put a t-shirt out. It's Roller Wiener Monday. I don't talk about it. It's on Teespring. Got a whole bunch of shirts over there and stuff if you want one. But it's Roller Wiener Monday shirt. I thought that. And it's in mustard yellow, which I thought was pretty funny. If you eliminate the emission stuff in the truck, can't take it to the dealer, but you can go to mom and pop. Yeah, some off-brand shop, right, would do it. But dealer, no. They'll be like, no, you got to fix all this. They just aren't allowed to work on it. So that's a problem. But if it's an older truck and maybe you can work on it or whatever, I mean, I wouldn't do it. I don't know how it would run and all that. I just wouldn't do it. Just get another truck. Luke, your friend drives for England and told me now if you're late for delivery, they count it towards your safety points. Oh, I love it. Rather than taking your money. What is a safety point? How does that work there? I literally just passed a white Amazon Prime trailer in Ohio. See, the ones here are blue. So was it confusing? K-Dub, are you sure it wasn't a Prime Ink trailer? The DPF filter needs to be changed every 250 as long as you do regens when it needs. I've yet to have any problems. Yeah, we haven't any problems with this one. This one, and it hardly ever needs a parked regen. Pretty impressive with it. But years ago, they were worse, way worse than that. Caleb, do we know the purpose of the new ELD logs, or should I say the onboard tracking thing? The purpose, well, is so that you'll run legal, which nobody's been doing. I've always encouraged people to run legal. You'll make more money. Why? Because pay will go up. They'll need more drivers. Ken, labor laws need to be changed so we can pay overtime. I do agree that trucking should not be exempt from the Fair Labor Standards Act. I think drivers should get paid the same as everybody else, but you're only entitled to minimum wage right now. And so overtime, is $10.50 or whatever an hour. Not great, $11 an hour. That's not great money. We can't fight just for minimum wage, and there's no other way. The government can't order any pay higher than that. So at minimum wage is $2.90 for 40 hours. Big huge Mike, your tractor gets the maintenance done when it's needed and don't mess around, knock on wood. Yeah, I mean, you've gotten a good one there. I haven't had any problems with it, so it's good for me. Just got bills from shippers saying 35,000 pounds scaled with half tanks of fuel. Turns out this 44.6. Wow, now you have to head back. They ought to pay you for that, of course. Steel Horse is giving out demerits for that, right? For coming in late. It's G. Smith is getting paid practical miles. The best to get paid. The best way would be hub miles. Okay, let's say that. That's where you get paid off the odometer. That's kind of rare. So practical miles is this current best standard to get paid, and less than that is not worth it. Household goods don't accept household goods miles anymore, I don't think. Caleb, have you ever seen the Warner Home Terminal in Omaha? It's almost a city block. Yeah, they have a huge place out there too. I don't know the inside of it. I guess because Prime advertises this. But Prime has basketball and theater and all that, so Werner might have all that same stuff too. And you always have to wonder, they put all that money into that. How often are you there and how long do you spend there when you can play sports and then watch movies? Sam Prime should put the word new on their trailers to avoid confusion. It should say, yeah, I don't know if it's the old Prime or the new Prime. We should sue Prime about that. Every mile paid is the best miles paid. Exactly. Hub would be the way to go if you can get it. Hourly is the wave of the future. That's even better. And hopefully I see it. I've seen, like I had JAT on the channel, trucking, they pay hourly over the road, including overtime. So all your time is paid there. Not bad. Big Huge Mike will be back in a few minutes. Thanks for coming. We'll see you momentarily. Luke, okay, good. Safety points are driver safety profile, so counts toward like if you had an accident or ticket. Oh, so you can get enough safety points where it's just like you had a ticket or an accident. What do they do about it, though? If you get a certain number of points, what happens to you there? Do you have to make a rap video? Earth Sun Truck, I saw Amazon Prime trailer, their logo. Then I saw Prime Eat and talk with their logo. See, that's a problem. We don't understand. Boston Mike will be sending you a personal experience update at WFX. Oh, great. Been here 6 weeks. Money is great. People are great. Be surprised. Settlements will be included. Okay, good. I'm glad it's a good place. And I should say somebody came out with an email to me from Danny Herman Trucking. Okay, no detention. Now, this is what they said, no detention. No detention pay. How do you have a company that never pays you detention? So he's been sitting a lot and not getting any kind of detention pay. And 36 cents. That's kind of ridiculous. You can't ask people to sit a bunch and then not pay them anything and give them a low rate of pay. Just because people are new, you can't sit them all this time. So, of course, some of his checks, he showed $374 gross, okay, for some weeks. That's not acceptable. It just isn't. Trucker Hershey, how about a company that says they advertise they pay practical miles, and when pressed, it's practical miles zip to zip? Well, that's interesting. Then you should say, what are you talking about? Practical zip to zip miles. What the heck? There's not a standard. There should be like a standard for that, but there isn't. So, yeah, I guess we got to press them exactly. What do you mean about that? This is so sad. You have to drill places like they're in a CSI investigation to find anything out. Why can't places just be honest with you? John, RM GPS took which is Rand McNally, right? Was not good after 2 months. Anyone have luck with the company getting a new one? Oh, let's see about that. I don't use one of those, so we'll see. Earthsun says the company pays the truck wash and trailer wash inside, but not the engine wash. Okay, I might spring for the engine wash every once in a while to keep it clean. Since they're doing all that at a place that I like. Not that you have to, but it might not be a bad idea. Comfortable Man says also miles is nothing short of a joke. Exactly. There's no reason not to pay practical miles today. Every night spent in the truck, you should get per diem. There should be extra money. I've always thought drivers over the road that are gone for weeks at a time ought to get $100 to start. To be gone if you're gone week after week, just because you're gone from your family. Now, that is not what the industry pays now. It's getting closer. But it's just not. It's just a lot of time away from your kids and your wife, who may not be there when you come home. You may end up being the subject of a country song. There are a few similarities, but the Prime Inc. trailer and the Prime Amazon trailers are easily distinguishable because one will be keeping up with traffic and the other will be holding it. Oh, that's one way to tell when they're moving. You can easily tell who it is. GP Transco says, do you prefer an APU or an EPU? I would take an APU because it doesn't run out of juice. From the electric ones that I've seen, which I think we're talking about these battery powered, basically an APU that runs the heat or air, they don't last on a 34-hour break if you're out. So if you're out long enough for a 34-hour break or where it's really hot and the air is really working, some of them don't last the 10 hours. Maybe they're better now than the ones that I've looked at. But the APU, you're going to run. It's going to run. You're not going to have the problem. And I think for the truck itself in the wintertime, the company itself can keep the truck turned off to a colder temperature because a lot of the APUs circulate the coolant, and they even have a line that circulates through the fuel. So keep the fuel warm and the coolant warm. So that would be better for the truck and the driver. That's what I would think. Comfortable Man would rather draw welfare than drive and be paid on household goods miles. You'd probably make more money too. Stephen Bond, you're at 80,000 gross. Wow. In August? Oh, wow. Ezekiel, I get paid hub when rolling, hourly when stopped on duty. That's the best way, right? The best would be hourly for all of it, but that's an unusual. You must even think that's an unusual way to pay. Green is great. Let the batteries run stuff. But they don't run it for 34 hours. From the ones I've seen, they will not run an air conditioner in that truck for 34 hours while you're running all this other stuff. They don't have enough juice to do it. That's the problem. So what do you do on your break? Maybe the trucking company would let you run the truck for the rest of the time. Randy Trucker, I've been here from the beginning, but been busy putting down the landing gear. Well, they need to get that greased. We're at 54 minutes here. Kim English, it's almost worth it to go to work for Prime just to watch fat truck drivers with roller wiener stained T-shirts play basketball. Oh, that'd be something. Then they go relax in the theater. Luke, you have to take safety class and you're suspended from receiving loads. Oh, well, to take the class? Do they then route you in? And do they not? Don't tell me they don't pay you for that either. They'll route you to a terminal and not pay you. Danny Herman has an easy bonus pay if you run. I guess they're at 12,000 miles, right? But this, what about sitting without being paid anything, no matter how long you sit? Amazon has the newer white trailers with the logo in blue. They just flipped the color scheme. Oh, so because we're too, okay, I guess they're running the old white ones here. Or the old full blue trailers here in white. Acceleration, most Danny Herman loads are 1,500 miles. It is true they do have a long length of haul, but the mileage pay was low, and there's no detention. See, especially at a place that says that, oh, we hardly ever sit, then they shouldn't ever mind paying you detention. Since there's hardly any of it, it should pay, well, we pay $25 an hour because you're hardly ever going to sit. That would be a better way to do it. Steel Tiger, get that salt from engine compartment is key for resale. If you're selling it, yes. K. Wayne, wouldn't it be great if we had a machine in the trucks that got it for all of our miles? That would be good. Can I explain practical mile pay? Practical mile is more or less address to address, where in a practical way that a truck can use, where this household goods pay is the shortest miles to from zip code to zip code in a way that sometimes trucks can't even use. And so the practical mile is usually 8 to 10% more than household goods miles for the same thing. Acceleration made $1,200 every week at Danny Herman. Look, and I'm not saying you didn't, but what I'm saying is these people send me checks and they're not getting miles there. Okay, so to get a $400 check, you're not getting any miles. And so you would think that the company would want you to get more miles than that. And the driver also wants more miles and wants to leave there because they're not getting any miles. So what would be the solution you would say at Danny Herman for that driver to get miles that I could say, here's a good way for you to ensure that you're going to get some more money there. Now, 36 cents also is going to get a lot of miles. Caleb says at the Werner Omaha terminal, they have an employee there just to wash people's trucks when they come in. When I saw wash, it went to the next line, and I thought, what exactly are they washing? So, fortunately, it's their trucks only. Steel Tiger, solar panels will work. Well, would they run the truck for 36 hours? Or 34 hours at least after the batteries die out after 8 or 10 hours? Caleb, Amazon Prime trailers are getting towed by owner-operators. That's true. And if high insurance rates are only doing $60 an hour on the interstate to make up a couple cents. I will tell you this. I haven't seen Amazon Prime trailers going slow. In Indiana, they passed me. I've seen 77, to 80 on the dash display for the forward radar of my truck. So it doesn't seem to be slowing them down here. How are household miles calculated on the shortest route that can be gone between the two addresses, down mule paths and every other thing? GP Transco says, whichever company you pick to drive for, ask some questions of being recruited and get in writing. Don't settle for vague answers. That's so true. These companies, they shouldn't, flim-flam you on, it's practical, zip to zip. I mean, come on, just be straight with people. Companies don't understand, too. That just backfires on them later. How does that benefit the company? Jose, what do I know about paying drivers for being out and while sleeping? Well, most places don't do it. It's just never been done, really. Walmart pays you something each night. Some places give you per diem. There's no law that requires it yet, so nothing at the moment for that. And I think that's going to be a tough fight to go. You're just going to have to get more money for the time that you work rather than ask people to pay you while you're sleeping. With the EPU, the engine will automatically start when the voltage level drops. Well, but companies don't want it to run, 30 hours or whatever when it runs out of battery juice. How long would it take the engine running to recharge those batteries so they could run another full night? Danny Herman is mainly drop and hook. You rarely sit. Okay, well then that's another reason for them to pay detention, especially if they don't hardly have it. It would be a great selling point. Look at what we pay for detention, and then you don't get any of it, but it's really high if you do get it. Luke, they pay you 2 miles to get to the terminal, but not for the class. Oh, sweet. All that just for being late a couple loads. Glad you're not with them. That's crazy. At least they pay you to get there, but not for the class. That's wonderful. You would have to log that class legally because you're required to take it. I hope they're having people log that class. Anything a motor carrier requires you to do is required to be logged. My friend just started at Martin. Oh, yeah, they told him he would get paid 60 cents. Turns out they pay 60 cents if the load is less than 500. Martin has a sliding pay scale. I agree with that. That depending on how long the load is, the miles pay less the longer the load is. That's true. Chris likes that GP Transco's here every Monday. They're always full of good info. I love that GP is here, and I appreciate them being on the show and answering questions and just in general being here. Danny Herman never cheated you. They treated you like family. Did say that you get treated well there, and he's not, the driver that wrote to me is not even saying that he's being cheated by them. You know, that they're treating him unfairly or anything, just that they're not giving him enough money to survive on. But he did say that he's treated very well there. I will say that. And there are no complaints about that on the internet, even because I looked. But $400 a week, I think we could both agree, is really not enough money to be gone for a week. You're first. I am first, Mark. You're a little bit late. Happy trails, drivers from I-85 and Banks Crossing. Exit 149 in Georgia, that is the new Loves. Looks like it'll be open soon. Plenty more parking on the Atlanta corridor, right, where it needs it everywhere. There, GP Transco's here to learn info from me. Oh, holy mackerel. I think it'd be the other way around, certainly. Werner's Truck Wash is a guy named Biff. Hey, I'll wash that truck for you, Chris. You agree, but glad they're here. Holy mackerel. I'm the one learning from everybody on here from all the comments. Donald, what's going on? Thank you for coming in. Looking for Utopia. Everybody is. Utopia would be a place that pays hourly with overtime. My company pays $25 a night in sleeper for a hotel if you don't want to sleep in the truck. I might take the $25 if they give you a sleeper. That's not bad, and that is unusual as well. Not a lot of places pay like that, but that's good. I'm sure you like that too. James Faust, how did Celadon get $165 million? They got funding. They didn't say where it was from. They just said they, quote, secured funding to the tune of $165 million. And now they're going to get 2,000 trucks. So if you work for Celadon or know somebody that does, call them and tell them, hey, you're about to get a new truck because they're going to buy 2,000 new trucks over the next 3 quarters. So that's great for drivers there. And from who? They didn't say where they got it. I will say I may have written part of that check. Nate, Tyson Foods doesn't pay any detention time. If you work for Tyson hauling, food products, no detention, you get a lot of it there. The only way I would tolerate that is if it was all drop and hook. It would have to be 100% drop and hook because you don't want to, if you're sitting around, there should at least be a policy to pay you detention time. Acceleration Rules, Martin is your current gig. They're honest. I like their detention time pay, by the way. $400 a week for us not treated well. Yeah. The $400, that's not enough just because you're treated in a good way. And he never doesn't say that they're not treating him well. Everybody there is professional. It's like a big family, but it's like a family where it's a potluck where you got to bring all your own stuff, Martin is the only company to ever pay you detention. Yeah, they do pay it there, right? Makes $1,500 a week running a team at Martin. That's pretty good. Hopefully each, $75,000. I wouldn't team, so teaming is not for me. Utopia is a town in Nebraska. Well, we should all go there. We're on our way back from Area 51. The critic says he sent the pictures of the Sierra England flatbed. All right, I'll have to check those out. Lazy drivers that shut down before dark make you laugh. We don't know. They may start at 3 in the morning, right? That's the way to do it. At least you get parking. Steel Tiger, why the heck does Tennessee have a 10-mile-an-hour speed difference between cars and trucks? For the same reason Indiana still has a difference and a few other states, because they are stupid. I mean, really. GP Transco says people have been asking where they get photos of the trucks on social media. They give the cameras to drivers who want to be over-the-road photographers. Oh, that's pretty good. I wondered where all these truck pictures from. Kenworth Mega Carrier are honest. Which ones of those are that? Right. Did the beef with Crete carriers ever get settled with the recruiters and you? No, not well. I don't know if it was a beef. I just, when I went to the truck show in March, I went to their booth and they wouldn't talk to me. And so I thought, I wonder why these people are here. And so I did a video about it, and they never talked to me. I wrote to them. They never answered it. So I guess they don't want to talk to me. And I'd like the place too. So I don't understand why you have a recruiter there and the recruiter won't get up and talk to you. When a recruiter at the truck show just gives you the website to go get your questions answered, why are they there? They could just set up a sign that says, here's our website, go check it out, and maybe they'll answer your questions. Or here's a phone number. It didn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. I guess it never got settled. It's not like they care about me. I'm just one person. So they really don't care. They know I'm never going to work there. So I guess they just don't care. Yeah, really. I heard Martin is mainly short loads, though, right? Your friend ran 4 loads in 4 loads in a week. That's 500 miles each. Well, I don't know. Do they have long loads? What do we think about that, Martin driver? I'm going to start carrying a paint gun and start peppering all the jerks that parks do, but you're going to have to bring a lot of paint. Adam, drop-in hook does not exist at Tyson. Must be booked a week in advance with another week to load correctly. Well, then they ought to pay you to sit there unless, they better unload you in an hour or pay you to sit there. One of the two. Donald says did 7 to 9 loads a week at Martin. Holy moly. All railroads, so are they running on the railroad? Acceleration, is it nearly impossible to get the fuel islands after dark? Yes. It's a disaster. People are doing their break on the fuel island. Oh, I'm on my break. Well, why aren't you go park? I mean, I see that at the Loves at night. There's parking spots and people are doing their break. Why? Because they start their break when they fuel their truck. And so they're already on their break. And you cannot fuel the truck while you're on your break. Okay? That's a log violation. You're not helping yourself. If you're willing to work for free, you're not going to get paid to do your work. So the more free work you do, you cannot complain then about not getting paid for all your time. Don't forget the guys who leave their truck in the island when they go to take a dump. Well, how about the ones that go take a shower? I mean, I'm kind of on both sides of that. At least they're showering, but then it's annoying. Steel Tiger 330 to 4 to 17 works best for you unless it's 2100 mandatory. Then there's parking also. Omar, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Acceleration, get short loads once in a while. They still it up. Reefer Freak is sporadic, and I think with it being a team that you will probably get longer loads than a solo driver. Even Gracie is surprised about that kind of stuff, certainly. But teams will get more loads than solos at any place, not just there, certainly. Trucking, CRST, Sue Swift, poached all their drivers. What do we think? What do you think about that, really? Am I right or are they right? See, if a driver has a contract with CRST or any other company, the driver and the company have a contract. The company, CRST in this case, doesn't have a contract with Swift to say you can't take our drivers, okay? It says to the driver, you can't work anywhere else. They can't impose a contract on somebody that they don't have a contract with. You go get your car fixed. That's the same dealer I use. I don't have to pay for it. Well, Mark, because I got my car fixed here, you have to pay. I don't have a deal with them to pay for that. You have a deal with them. So I think this is the same kind of thing. The CRST should go after each student. If they want to sue every student, I guess they could do that. But they don't have a deal with Swift and some goofy judge, right? And I'm not a lawyer, of course, as I keep saying, that allows this kind of stuff. I'm not in with it. I don't have a deal with them. So it's not up to Swift to not hire them. It's up to the company to say, hey, to that driver, you can't go anywhere. GP Transco, speaking of Prime Basketball Court, we're building our new headquarters, yes, and we'll have a basketball court, nice. Our drivers like to joke, GP is coming like Prime. Holy Mac, you don't want people to say that. You don't want to be, pretty soon we won't be able to even, your trailers will be confused with Prime too, and Prime will be suing you saying, oh, look, we can't even understand which trailer is which. So you don't want drivers saying that kind of thing. I guess the basketball court will be where you're charging the Tesla semi out there. You can do that. Acceleration, that's why I like the team. You don't get you don't get stuck at the truck stops. You just have to fuel. You guys must get tons of points too, you and whoever your partner is. I put it all on one card. Swift needs to appeal the bogus judgment. I think they will. They did say, we're thinking about it or whatever. I would. I mean, they don't have a deal. They haven't violated a contract. They don't have a breach. The breach is between the people in the contract, right? Not people that are not in the contract. It's like you wouldn't have a breach with them either. CRST is sued for that lawsuit. Well, they won. So they're kind of, what this is going to do also, of course. So students that go somewhere, CRST is going to be able to say, look, we sue places. You're not going to be able to work anywhere else. You must stay here. You can't leave. Look at this lawsuit. You're not going anywhere. And companies are going to be like, we don't want to take students from there because we're afraid of getting sued too. It's going to put a whole quieting on the industry, and they'll just be able to do whatever they want to you. Any GP Trans goes on this. Anti-poaching laws are there for a reason. Even Steve Jobs of Apple got in trouble for trying to make a deal with Google not to poach workers. So he's making a deal. So is that the same thing? Is he making the deal? See, CRST has to deal with the student. Like say I have a trucking company. I don't have a deal with CRST. I go, hey, you want to come and work here? I'll pay you more money. I don't have a deal with CRST. I have no deal with them not to hire people. CRST then has to go to that person and go, look, you have a deal with us to not work somewhere else. They can't go to Swift and say that person has a deal with us. I'd go, well, that's your problem. That isn't my problem. I'm not in on that contract. That's the thing of it. I'm not part of the contract. I'm not party to it. So I don't have to abide by it. I'm not held to it. I didn't agree to it. Those two people agreed to it. I didn't. So I get to hire that person. And what you do to that person is between you and them and you guys' CRST and that driver's deal in the contract. I don't have a part of it. I'm not in on it. I didn't sign it. So that's great. Even Gracie is not impressed by CRST doing that. She's just not, because it just isn't right. And when even the cat, if the cat thinks about, mega carriers, holy moly, this is what could possibly happen to you. So that's what Gracie thinks. But that's what I'm saying about that is, if I'm not a party to the contract, I don't have to abide by the contract. You can't hold me to something I didn't agree to, is what I'm saying, for the poaching. In that we can't hold Swift to something. They didn't agree to anything. They're just trying to hire drivers. Steele says U.S. Express is now 67 miles an hour. Really? So Werner's up. U.S. Express is up. I got passed by England, although I've heard their mileage didn't go up, but I've been passed by going 68. How about a pool, a hot tub, and a Harley rental? I will say some companies do have cars that you can use. Some companies have a car that you can use, which is not a bad idea. They're usually, I saw one for JB Hunt driving around Chicago once. It was all beat up. I thought, this is not great advertising. Jeff hopes Swift wins on appeal. You call BS on that? Yeah. Only because they're not part of the contract. If they would have a contract with them, that's one thing. But no, not otherwise. Don't team shower. Hopefully they do shower, and hopefully separately. But there should be some shower time in there, right? Joe, all this company politics when you get your own truck and authority, it would solve part of it, and you'd have your own different kinds of BS and politics going along with it, I think. Jeremy, I miss anything funny about Swift or CRST? Look, everything about him is kind of funny, really. Adam, an inconsiderate genius that block you in your parking spot, expect you to move. Wonder how long they live being stupid. It's amazing, really. That people, if you are parking, all right, go park. Do not sit up in the front of the fuel line. Move your truck. Some people have work to do. And I know, I have a log. You can't do your 30-minute break while you're fueling legally. So if you're pulling up, you're still on drive time. So that goes to driving. Go drive around and park somewhere. The second worst thing a driver can do is walk around the shower key, eating food, lingering around while others are waiting. Yeah, why do you have your shower key with you? And where's you getting a shower key? Why would a company have a driver driving for them if the driver's unhappy? I don't know. That's the other thing. Oh, that's a very good point, Wild Bill, right? The other thing is, why would CRST want to force you to come back and work there and finish out your contract? Because they said the drivers can either work here and finish out their contract or pay it. And what the driver should do probably is apply then. Because if CRST would not take them back to work, I would say and I'm not a lawyer, but I would say, look, I'm trying to work there. They won't let me work there as per the contract. Therefore, I'm out of it. So that's a good way to do it. But why would you want them to work somewhere? If somebody hates your place and doesn't like working and quits and says, I hate it, I'm not, and why would you want to force them to work there? They're not going to be the greatest driver ever, certainly. And they're not going to be super happy that you made him come and work there. CRST went after Swift because no court would allow an individual to be sued to non-compete. I think I agree with that, right. I'm really surprised that they actually won the case against Swift. Swift didn't agree to anything. That's what I'm saying. Swift is not a party to this non-compete. And these non-competes, you notice they didn't go after the driver, as you say, because they can't hold you to that. You don't have to work there. You can work wherever you want. And so in this kind of case, there's really no one to go after. Donald says cats are smart. Yeah, smarter than us. She's sleeping right now. Donald says, money, yes. California Native, your channel is awesome. Thank you very much. Keep the great work, keeping the drivers informed. Recently ran into the channel a while back while making a decision with Cherry to start with. All right, well, good. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming in. I'm live every Monday at 1, for people that don't know, at 1 p.m. Eastern. Acceleration rules, 3 drivers, big advantage going downhill. Oh, that would, what, because of gravity? If I own the company and a driver's unhappy, go and leave. That's what you would want, right? But they want their money. All they want is their money. Why go faster with team when truck doesn't stop? More miles. You could stop and get a shower. I've seen a sign at Chippers, receiver who don't allow drivers to use the bathroom, right? More scrap on the back wall than the stool. Pretty soon truck stops won't either. Clean up people. Well, look, I don't even know what to say about stuff like this. They should let you use the bathroom, but then you get these kind of things and you like, yeah, I wouldn't let people use the bathroom either. You got to kind of, you're just at somebody's bathroom. You don't have to have, it's not even Taco Tuesday yet. This, if you're just stuck with roller wieners every day, this wouldn't happen to you. Holy moly. That's a known thing. But I totally agree with you. Basketball court will be opened. Where did I go off to here? Right, I've lost my spot as usual. For 24 hours for drivers in a gym and a food area. Oh, that's great. Laundry, that's good. A lot of places have laundry. I like that. Lounge and other things. Drivers deserve a nice place. I agree. And don't forget Tesla charging also there. Teams work best for husband and wife, maybe. If you guys have noticed, the only really bad companies make you sign contracts. Oh, yeah. Look, the more stuff you have to, if they have to make you sign to agree to never leave there, work there for 10 months, what kind of place is that? A place should just want you to work there and provide a place where you're going to work, not where they make you work. You must stay here. You're signing your life away. What kind of place is that? Most places don't do that. So that's the thing of it. Some of the best teams are married couples at GP Transco. I think that's probably a good way as long as you get along with your spouse well. I've heard from drivers that are like, oh, I would never want to be with my spouse all day. That's right. They do have a documentary about it on YouTube. That's true, right? Seen folks washing their feet in the sink. It's gross. Yeah, I've seen this too. And it's a certain kind of people that do that. I don't understand it. Look, take a shower, okay? You got to get a shower at least every day on your card. Who does not get a shower put every day on their card? 50 gallons? Somebody's not getting 50 gallons a day. It's time to find a new place. If you're getting the 50 gallons a day, go in the shower. And don't tell me you have reasons or whatever. You don't wash your feet in the sink. I don't care what your personal reasons. Those are your reasons. You have to live in society with everybody else. And so most people don't wash their feet in the sink because that's gross. So go and take a shower. And it's not just a pilot. That's every truck stop, certainly. Mullethead Loves recently switched to the keypad access for showers. They used to give you an actual key. Yeah, right. I'm just saying most places, no key. Sure, you used to get a key on a gigantic stick everywhere, and you had to turn. Everybody remembers, right? The farther back we go, you literally turned in your shower ticket. One of your fuel receipt ones, the yellow or pink one, was the shower one, which you had to give in to the truck stop. Oh, yeah, right. And your card, your driver's license sometimes. Adam says, getting fired auto break contract. I'm sure you can find some silly company policies you could break. Right. That's another thing. If they fire you, usually you're out of the contract. So you can just refuse to work or whatever, something like that. On something also, you can go in and say stuff to the boss. I mean, there's certainly ways to do that. But I think if they're forcing you to come back, apply. and see if they'll actually take you back. Well, Bill says live on Monday. Is that every Monday? Oh, yeah, we're here every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Eastern, because we live in Eastern. Caleb had to take a break to shut your trailer doors. We're getting beat with golf ball size hail. Yikes. I think that's OSHA. That's workman's comp there. Joe, it's called indentured servitude. Yes, they're forcing you to work there or pay them. Now, you're getting training, which is, of dubious quality. But still, the other thing is you agree to it. So really, what is the takeaway of that? Don't sign things you don't read. Read everything and then don't sign these kind of goofy things. But they prey on new people that don't know the difference. What are they, what are they supposed to do about that? Would you agree that states should enforce commercial driving questions on people going for their Class C license in order to better understand what commercial drivers deal with? Yeah, if people go to get a C, certainly. When trailer was in business, they used to have a cafeteria you could order hot food. TRL was in business. Oh, I think isn't that the place that used to give you your truck color choice too? Acceleration, you and your teammate fight. It's normal for two folks living in a small space. That doesn't sound super great. Like it's super a lot of fun. Mob truckers, sometimes those drivers don't have shower credits. Some don't even understand the reward system. You see them, help them out if you have extra showers. I'd be happy to, right? I get unlimited showers there. You're welcome to have them. I don't need them. So people need a shower, right? We can get you a shower. And I agree. If they don't understand the shower credit system, I don't know. They should understand it, I guess. You get free showers. Do drivers not know there's free showers? I mean, I guess not. By the time you're by yourself, if you've been trained, you've at least seen your trainer go take a shower, right? Maybe that should be part of training too. Understand how to use the point system at truck stops. Yeah, Callie, I mean, when you go for your commercial license, we've had to take a Class C general knowledge. Yeah, certainly there should be. Look, even for car drivers, there should be some explanation at least of commercial vehicle driving and stuff like that. I Googled it. Voodoo involves washing the hands, mouth, nostrils with water and part of ritual purity in Islam. Fine. Look, you can wash up all you want, but not in the sink. This is not just your sink. You can't just impose that kind of thing here. You can go get water. It doesn't have to be in a sink, I'm sure. So you can get water and do that. So look, you can have whatever thing you want, but you can't impose that on everybody else. We recently received a truck from a driver who quit. The inside looked like the aftermath of Chernobyl. Inside a 2020 Cascadia. We're really surprised by what we see. That goes back maybe to my TMC thing, really. Okay, so TMC, they make you clean your truck to showroom standards when it comes in the shop for service. And it's subject to inspection anytime you're on their property. Okay, look. So here's the thing. You shouldn't have to keep it to showroom quality. That's kind of ridiculous, especially since they're not being paid for that time. But to leave the truck like it looks like Chernobyl, how are you living in the truck? Do you live like that at your house? I mean, you live in the truck for the week or however long you're gone. Would you live like that? It's just crazy. Maybe that driver did that on purpose, which is even worse, but it's just the stuff that you see. It's crazy. How many of you have looked over once and see a truck that's piled on the passenger seat and the whole side is full of like McDonald's bags and stuff? That's gross. Throw your garbage out every day. Why do people have to be explained that, really? I'm sorry, you'll have to have somebody clean that truck out in a hazmat suit and call ServPro like it never happened. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And then it costs companies money, and then we don't get a pay raise. All right, James Faust, we'll check into that later. I know a driver signed a contract for XPO. He's got out of his contract because he got fired because every day he came in late. Oh, there you go. So he got let out because he was late. So the contract must say in there that if you get fired, you don't owe the contract. So if that's a way out, that would be an easy way out. Go right back immediately to CRST, apply, and then get fired. Adam, what if your company has crappy fuel network using TA and shower expires same time you need it? Well, what I'm saying is that you should get a shower every day, right? 50 gallons a day. That's not that complicated, really. And every couple days, you could fuel in the morning and then at night and get 250 gallons instead of getting 100. And then you have extra showers or, something like that. There's no reason not to get a shower, certainly most days. Did I hear about USA Truck losing revenue? Yes, their revenue went down. Some went up. But the USA truck was one of them that went down to $1,000. I thought that was pretty interesting. They got their $1,000 guarantee for that quarter. But they deserve everything that they're getting there. They're losing revenue because they're just not doing business right. Werner, like I talked about last week, their revenue increased. So they're in the same type of market. It just depends how you run your business, what your contracts are, and all that stuff, certainly. A Big Huge Mike, that's like you cleaning in the sink and asking you to accept it. Yeah, nobody wants that. You're welcome to have, I've always said, you're always welcome to have whatever beliefs you want. It's the United States. But you can't impose that on everybody else by doing things in a public place that are not acceptable in the society here. I got to pay to take shower when it's out of budget with new truck rates and added hands in your pocket. Well, what are they, $14 Is your cleanliness not in your budget? I mean, seriously, for that kind of money, especially if it's been a couple of days, there's certainly you got to get 50 gallons in 2 days. In 2 days, you've gotten 50 gallons. So certainly, you got to get it by then. Gorilla Ma, the $1,000 profit for the second quarter, right? They made $1,000, which is still a profit, but their profit went down. Yep, it happens. Werner's profit went up. I talked about that last week. Their profit went up, way up. And there are other companies that had larger revenues as well. So, Jeff, new drivers need to request a copy of an employment contract in advance and have their lawyer look at it if they have a lawyer. If a new driver asked that, the answer they would get would tell them a lot. Yes, so any contract, all that should be sent to you in advance. The problem is new drivers don't know to ask for a contract in advance because they don't know they're going to get a contract until they show up. So we got to try to get to new drivers in advance to tell them, hey, get everything, make sure that everything is emailed to you in advance in writing. GP Transco sadly said our service technicians have special outfits and gear to clean those type of trucks. That's sad that you have to buy special gear to clean a truck. Can you imagine how this driver was living? And also, somebody that lives like that, are they nice to your customers then? It's a different kind of person. And, the truck doesn't have to be, spit shined and polished every day. But somebody that lives like that is probably got the same type of attitude to customers. They don't care. The same type of attitude to driving, the same type of attitude to everything. And TMC just takes that a little far, especially by not paying you. But, I at least partially agree with them that that kind of truck indicates that kind of driver. Nasty Habits passed an Amazon Prime driver pulled over coming down the Grapevine for speeding. Do we know if it was Prime or Prime Inc.? But you're saying what I'm saying. Of course, there would be 55 max, right? And I don't know where it was, maybe lower, but I see them going close to 70 here. So they're not, these owner-operators pulling those, which it is usually owners here, are not really slowing them down that much. Speeding on the Grapevine equals expensive. Speeding anywhere in California gets expensive, right? Wild Bill says he enjoys the show. Good show every Monday. Yeah, I've been doing this every Monday, started a couple weeks ago. For people that are new, right, that I haven't said in a few minutes, the blog, I've been writing a blog this month. I'm blogging about the first 2 years of Trucking Answers. So we're at 2 years here. In a couple weeks, it'll be 2 years. Looking back each day on different parts of the show. So I think it's fun to write the blog. Maybe nobody reads it. That's all right. I'll read it myself, and I'll write it and read it myself. It's over on the website under a 10th Gear. It's the 10th Gear blog. Acceleration, your truck runs 20 at max speed 24/7. Posted speed limit doesn't matter. You run 65 in California all the time. Be smart about it. I'm not in for that. I'm too nervous about it. 2 over max for me. That's it. David Shepard, good show. Look forward to Mondays. Dave from the UK, thanks for being here from across the ocean. We appreciate you coming in. Let's ask you today, what's the weather over there today? How's the weather looking today? It's nice mid-80s here today, which is about 25, I guess, 28. And not a bad day, a little humid. That would require brain and common sense, which most newbies in trucking seem to lack. Well, there's a difference between not being smart and not being trained, right? So new drivers need good trainers to show them what's going on, to be trained, all that kind of stuff. So that's part of the problem. It's just people aren't trained. I never even thought that people don't understand the shower credit thing. Really, I didn't even think about that, which maybe I should do a video about how to get shower credits there. Maybe that would help people. Chrome Daddy, you'd probably get a half a shower for 15, right? You can get half a shower. So you stop twice a day and get 15, you can get a shower credit with 30. Oh, you got a good way to scam them out of that. So 30 gallons gets you a shower. Is it important to go to work for a company that has APUs or EPUs in the view of the fact that some states have anti-idling laws? I think I like an APU. it's quiet in the truck and companies don't gripe at you for idling. So no matter where you are, you can stay comfortable. Certainly you should have some way to keep comfortable, especially if the company won't let you run the truck. May Trucking. How much do Werner drivers make? They don't pay at standard rates, but they have lots of miles. What is a standard rate? What do you mean they don't pay at standard rates? Sometimes T and Petro separate, and if that your fuel network, you must pay for the shower, and hundreds to park with a dirty truck at SRT and send you to California with dirty ticket machine. Well, does SRT not pay for truck washes? Certainly to go to California, I mean, it's almost policy you have to wash your truck. So what's the wash policy at SRT? Jay James is late. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Beautiful in Portland, but last night it was in the 60s. It is fall, is here. Fall better not be here yet. Holy mackerel. Dave Johnson, will I continue Crab Company? The Crab Company has moved to, things to consider, and I'm always looking for more companies to consider things about. When I hear stuff like that, it's, things that we will consider. Because we have to, there's a lot of stuff to consider, even when there's a cat break, certainly. And there's also a GP Transco break. There's GP Transco's contact information. They're in here answering questions through many of the shows, which I appreciate, of course. Also, I always want to remind people every week about Auto Transport Intel. He goes live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central. Jay, an early friend of the show that kept my spirits up when they were down early in the channel. So much appreciation to Jay. And, of course, it's Blue Parrot time. Holy mackerel. I can't believe I have all these screens up here. So, and I finally got back. Look at me clicking and doing stuff. All right. Webster's Dictionary defines a shower as a fall of water for a short period. So there's a dictionary definition. What is a short period? We need to look that up then. Getting ready to start your sightseeing trip after a truck wash, you'll have a clean truck. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I'm not, look, I guess this is the opposite of TMC where you don't get to wash the truck at all. I mean, what is the story at SRT if you can't wash your truck ever and you have to go to California all the time? You're going to want to go there with a clean truck. Dash Cam Sam. Oh, you have any dash cam videos? I'd love to see that. Hey, Mark, your company pays an hourly rate of 14 hours a day, less all-time log driving. Even if I don't work 14 hours, I still get paid. More companies should do this. It's very fair. That sounds really good. So it's almost a guarantee, really, because you're getting paid a rate for a day. So you're going to get that money even if you don't work the 14 hours. It's a guarantee. You'll know what you'll make. Not bad. I mean, that is very good. That's another great way to do it. One time a month at SRT. Oh, but sent there 4 times a month. Once a month. They should certainly have, wash it before you go to California. I agree. So, because maybe you're 28 days. And so are you going to send it out there to be washed at your own expense? Maybe. What is Gracie's opinion of a Super 10? That is Gracie's opinion of the Super 10. Certainly. The Super 10. That's what Gracie thinks about it. She has a CDL, by the way. Gorilla says, nice color in those GP trucks. Yeah, they didn't get the standard white. I was so impressed when I saw that. I'm like, wow. Ooh, what is a typical profit margin for a trucking company? Oh, that's very good. What do people think that is? I won't have any idea. I will say it's probably more than $1,000 for a gigantic place of USA truck. What, few percent? 5%? I'm going to go with 5%. All right. Let's see what people think. Some goofball sent an eviction notice by text from California. You live in Ohio. I don't know if that's legal. As a non-lawyer, I always understood that notice has to be in person. A friend of mine is an attorney. He works in the workplace injury, workman's comp, unemployment, that kind of thing. So I've talked to him about stuff. But I understand that notice has to be sent in person. It has to be personal service, so it has to be, are you John Doe? Yes, here's your thing, right? So it can't just be by text. How does there proof that you ever got it? You have to have proof that you received it. So I don't think that's legit, but I'm not an attorney. See yours. Joe Jordan, Scotty, 67, posted a video of a truck 5 to 6 feet off the back of a U-Haul. That sounds awesome. People in U-Haul, no standards or anything. They'll rent one to anyone, right? Caleb, I work for Warner, and you're on the Dollar Tree account and rarely make under $2,000. That's a solo, and your best paycheck was $27.50. Great equipment to repair anytime you have a problem, or You are second. Well, let me ask you, are you a solo driver making $2,750 a week at Werner? Okay, so let me ask you that. Caleb, Werner has great insurance and benefits. You have premium of everything, vision, dental. You have 4 kids and pay $98 a week. That's very low. That's less than it would be where I work. I'm $71 or so a week for 2 people. That's very low insurance cost. The $2,750's got me a little, I'm not saying it's not true, but that would be the highest pay I've ever seen. I had an Old Dominion driver write to me with his checks at about $136,000 a year. And I've had a couple of trainers, ironically for England of all places, send me checks in the $2,300 a week range as a trainer. So that's the most I've ever seen legit, where they sent 4 checks in a row. And if you want to do that, I'd like to see it. You know, I don't release any of those or anything, but it'd be the only way I could guarantee. $2,750 is like $175,000 a year. It's a lot of money. Why don't you tell us what Werner drivers make? No more than 32 cents a mile, no layover, no detention. Are you proprietary? I don't know about that. May not be me. Hey, what's cooking? Flavio, good to see you in here. One company you saw was 1% of Trucker Hershey. I'm saying 5. We'll see what we get as an answer. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's more than $1,000 though. The Critic has a basketball hoop at the terminal in Swift. Big Huge Mike, Werner's not bad if you can get on a dedicated account. That's all these large companies though, right? Every mega carrier, if you can get on a dedicated account, I think you can do okay there. Maybe not the greatest, but you can get a life. You can have a scheduled time, you know, and so that's not terrible on a dedicated account. Some drivers choose spending fuel reward bonus on wieners rather than combating swamp, but fight for all-time pay. You should get paid for your time, but you don't have to use your fuel reward points. You should be getting a shower. If you get enough fuel reward bonus points to get a roller wiener, there should be a shower on your card. Be $400 added expense. You don't make that month in a week. Yeah, you shouldn't have to wash your own truck. Agree, but they got a policy of once a month, so that's their policy there. They must think that it doesn't affect their CSA scores at all. The Critics, send me checks at Werner. A friend did that for Swift, and he rarely made $1,000 a week. Yeah, look, I'm just super curious. At $2,750, I mean, that's a lot of money a week, and I've never seen anybody making that money as a company driver. If you're an owner-operator, then I could see it, but company driver, I don't think so. The Dollar General account is a lazy man's account. Is not a lazy man's account. Oh, okay, yeah, you got to do too much work. Holy moly, you better make $2,700 a week doing that. Jesus Beast, thanks for the info. A lot of veteran drivers don't like sharing info with the new drivers. Some should take a page out of my book. Oh, thank you very much, and thanks for that. I appreciate you saying that and doing the super chat. I appreciate it very much. I try to help everybody. For new people here, whatever, can always write to me. I answer all my emails. So, how can someone who claims to be a Werner driver not know how to correctly spell their company's name? A Werner pays bi-weekly. Oh, there you go. Bingo. So that's a 2-week check. It's still pretty good money. That'd still be good money every week, but that's 2 weeks. Okay, so that's better. The insurance is good. 98 still good. Big Huge Bike was on the Dollar General account for Werner 10 years ago. And think at the time it was $200 a day or something like that, but it was 10 years ago. That wouldn't be bad 10 years ago. Leonidas is in Reno, the biggest little city in the world. Do I ever listen into any earnings calls for a trucking company? Not really. I think they're kind of boring. They're easier just to roll over later and read them if there's some kind of issue with them. So no, listening to earnings calls, no. Michael, hello from Laredo. You train at Swift, first week 800, second 1560, third 1980, fourth 2150. Is that because of, is that how much you're getting? I mean, what is the breakdown on this? 10% profit margin would be amazing for a trucking company. 4% is standard. Oh, really? With midsize like us, nearly all profit is reinvested, right? So 4% is what you're saying is profit margin. That's not a lot of money. But Southern USA Truck way under the average at making $1,000 for their quarter. But that's really still a thin margin. But you know, if you can make 4% there and have decent trucks and you know expand the place and pay people, how much are places that don't do that make? You know, where does all their money go really? What about a company that pays a dime a mile less and doesn't trade their trucks in often? Caleb, I'm on voice text for the Werner, and no, that's $2,000 a week. That's really something. So $2,750 a week is really something. The critic wants to check sent. Look, I would like to see 2750 4 weeks in a row, because that's the only way, because people send it, but then they've held a pay. We don't know if the pay's been held 4 weeks solid of the same kind of money. It's over $10,000 a month. That'd be over $120,000 a year. If you're a solo driver making 120 at Werner, I'll tell you what, I'd have you on my website. If I was Werner, I'd put you out there and holding your checks up, basically, because that's really good money. I don't get a lot of complaints from people at Werner, I will say that, but that's a lot of money. I mean, most people on here are thinking, wow, 120 grand at Werner, that is a lot of money. It seems like they wouldn't have such a problem getting drivers, or really have to take a lot of student drivers, honestly, if they're paying 120, 140, or more a year, they would have a easier time getting drivers. That's what I'm saying. Leonidas, why don't your dislike buttons keep count? I don't know. I don't pay attention to them. A lot of people say press the like or whatever. It doesn't make any difference to YouTube whether you press the like button or not. So because YouTube knows you can game the system, like you can pay people to just come in and press the like button. So YouTube doesn't put any stock in either of those buttons. So why it doesn't keep count, I don't know. I don't check into them or ask anybody to do anything with them. So that's the story of the like button. The behind the scenes YouTube says we don't put hardly any stock in people pressing that, because you could just have your family come and press that like button all the time. And so YouTube says because that can just be gamed, we don't put any stock in it. So it doesn't help, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't do anything to any channel, not just this one. GP Transco, companies who pay drivers low cents per mile do have higher profit margin, but the turnover rate suffers. Oh, and so then the money, that's interesting. The money that they save by paying drivers, they have to put in to recruiting new drivers. So they're putting out the same amount of money, just not giving it to drivers. They're giving it to recruiting companies and all that other thing. That's really something. It seems like you'd want a more stable workforce, because when people stay at any company, they get better at what they do, and the company makes more money over time because the people are more efficient at what they do. That's what I think. That's why I always encourage people to stay, find a good place and stay there. You make more because you know the whole system, how everything works. You get more efficient at your job. You know everything about the whole system that the company does and everything else. Caleb, 2750 was your best week before taxes. That's really something. Average 2150 to 2,000 a week before taxes. It's a 1680. That's really amazing to me that Werner would pay $2,000 a week. It seems like they would not have a recruiting problem if they're those kind of openings. That's all I'm saying there. I mean, I don't really get that from hardly any company where they're at $2,200, $2,100 a week. That would really be incredible. That just seems really, really high to me, and probably a lot of people to pay that. What about Celadon then? If they're doing the same kind of job as every other company, USA Truck and everybody out here, why aren't they making money? Why does their stock go down to $1? Other than they had some little legal problems, maybe a little bit of problem, but they don't make money. And then Werner posted higher revenue, and USA Truck barely made any money. And so all these places change around. It doesn't make any sense. When they go back and forth like that, you just don't know where the money comes from. For them to just post different earnings when they're in the same segment, they have to not be run properly. You see some companies making all kinds of investment in themselves, and some companies just basically go down to making no money, making $1,000. That's nothing. The dislike button must have a purpose as well, Bill. It seems to have a purpose in that it encourages people to interact, but YouTube doesn't look at the button like anything. So it may encourage an interaction, and then the creator, as they're called, right, can look and see at that. But YouTube doesn't put too much stock in it, because I could just have all my family members come on and just continually press that button. I could set up different accounts for them, and so YouTube knows that. And they don't put any stock into what to do with the video. Do we show this video to other people based on the like button? Well, YouTube says no. They don't put any stock in it. So I don't ever say anything about it up there. And why it's not keeping track, I don't know. If you refresh your page, it might update the account or whatever. I'm not sure how that works. Michael, Swift breakdown pay for training for trainer is $100 extra a week for and student miles. And your miles after 50 hours is like 2 logbooks, right? It could be bad for the students because of style training. All this kind of goofy training thing is never good for the student. The only way to do it is that the trainer has to be up in the seat on duty while the student is driving. That law I would make. The trainer must be on duty while the student is driving, period. That way, they wouldn't be able to use the student as an extra logbook. Brookwood, I live near the Atlanta Werner terminal. They have a roadmaster school in their lot. I'm going to examine that. Yeah, they do run their schools and stuff, certainly. They're known for hiring students. They have a good military to driving program there at Werner. They're one of the ones that participate in that, which can increase your pay as a student. Yes, certainly. Wow, Bill, it doesn't make sense. It makes dollars. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Look, these are all this goofy, behind the scene YouTube like button and all this stuff that, that they put out there, but they don't put any, they don't really put any stock in it. The guy from Werner must make $1.10 a mile. It would pay really good. I mean, the thing is on that account, they pay a lot of unloading and there's a lot of extra accessorial pay that they pay on that. So, I'll withhold until I see anything about it. No one's else has ever written with that kind of high pay. It's possible, certainly. I see a lot of people write in with a lot of things, and I don't get really any complaints about Werner. So, is it possible? $27.50? I think they'd get a lot of drivers to go work there if you could make $27.50 a week. I do think that they would get more people to work there than they do. They wouldn't have to run. They wouldn't have to run ads. I'm trying to find a pen here. And let's see that. 27. Doing some quick math here. We're going to put that down. 5. 4. Yeah, 150 grand. 150 grand. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Okay, Flavio says he needs that headset. This month we're going to give another headset away. So don't worry about that. I got another headset. We're going to give it away for the 2-year anniversary. That's this month. And so that's going to be a blast. That's just going to be sprung on everybody at one point. So, Caleb, you do make good on the Dollar Tree account. That's where you laughed at them when they offered you $1.07. Yeah, I mean, that would be something. That would be $1.07 would be very impressive pace, considerably more than I'd make. So until I withhold, until I see a check at $27.50, that's something I would have to see myself. Look, and if it's true, right, I'll put that out there. That that's totally true. I'll go to bat for that place if they're paying that kind of money, right? That would be really good. I mean, that'd be something. Believe me, that people would want to know. $27.50 a week. Holy mackerel. Would the cat be impressed? Yes. That's what you would say about that. $27.50 a week. Wow. That would really be something. I think most of us would go apply there at that time. Can't keep the ginger fight on the Dollar Tree account because they say it's too much work. It is a lot of work. Look, I wouldn't do it. I'm not here saying, oh, I'll work harder than everybody else in the world. No. I'm way past that. You all can work that physical labor all you want. So I'm not in here saying I can outwork all of you. No, you all can outwork me because I'm not somebody that's going to be unloading a trailer anytime soon. I did enough of that. And so I'm out with it. A lot of these megas want $7,000 for the school contract and don't teach engine braking techniques and the theories of going down hills. It won't teach them about hours of service. Yeah, well, the school that I went to said, look, we're here to get your license, and beyond that, you'll learn stuff beyond that. And so I learned in Chicago, so there are really no hills to go down, right? It's hard to teach the theory until you're on the hill. I do think, especially in light of these accidents, there was another accident in Colorado that there should be maybe specialized training for going west of Denver on 70. Maybe that should be an actual kind of restriction or something because it is a lot harder heading down those kind of mountains than any others. Or going off the interstate. If any of you have been off the interstate, I'm sure a lot of you have. It gets way more than 6 or 7%, on U.S. routes and stuff. You can get really serious. So maybe there should be some kind of restriction for that rather than this automatic restriction that they're doing. Wow, Bill, will that giveaway be on a Monday? Yes. Always on the live show. DA, Nathan's famous executive office one, Jericho. Right. It's awesome. So we don't film the critic. Everybody is welcome here. Is Schneider laying off? Yeah, I have that here. Schneider is doing this layoffs because what they did with this Watkins Shepherd is they're doing this final mile. Not anymore because they closed it. So what final mile is, and they show a picture of a straight truck in the article, is delivering the final mile of products. So that product, that refrigerator, goes in your kitchen. That's Schneider now. Schneider was doing that kind of thing. But Schneider never did that before, and they've been doing it a few years. It just never took off. They got to stay, do what you do best. You're White Castle. You make White Castles, okay? All this other stuff, you don't need to do all this other stuff to be successful. Just stick laser focus on your goal, your success, and stick with that. So Schneider went off on the merge ramp over here and went off to something else. Didn't work out, and so they're closing it down. There's a lot of competition in this final mile from a lot of other places. They weren't able to do it. They're having some layoffs. The drivers will be absorbed in but from what I'm understanding right here, they'll get a pay cut if they want to stay at Schneider. They can always move on. You just tell Schneider, look, I'm leaving if you don't do that, James Faust says, the school I went said, if you can get it out the gate, you'll do great. Oh, at least, look, they had a saying going for it. That would have made me feel a little better about it, being a nervous, 21-year-old. Every time I drive that, every single time, Robert says, I drive that pass, I see at least one truck smoking the brakes. Yeah. Look, if you're smoking, you're going way too fast, right? I'm sure everybody agrees. I go down at a rate that the Jake holds the truck. That's it. So that if you need to use your brakes, you can stop. That's my policy. That's what I teach people. So whatever the Jake holds that truck at, that's my speed. Going down, certainly. Caleb, 27.50 was the best week. That's a lot, right? You average is 2,500 at 54 cents plus 300 for a trailer. You can unload 3 trailers and do 2,500 miles a week. That's really something. Or squeeze out 4 trailers. I'd be dead after the first trailer, probably. It just seems like a lot of work. Chrome Daddy's going to apply to Werner. Exactly. We need a wiener sponsor. Yeah, we need somebody to sponsor us for Roller Wiener Monday. How do we arrange that? Does somebody have a contact in some wiener division somewhere? Because that certainly needs to be arranged so we can pass those out. I saw a flatbed driving down 20 West smoking like a something. He was driving for 10 miles until he realized that, holy mackerel. So 10 miles, no mirrors. Oh, I'm just going to look straight ahead. That's still great. GP Transco, the drivers are still upset because they asked them not to idle if they have an APU. I don't understand it. You should set the truck to turn off if it has an APU. Really, 3-minute idle on the truck, turn it off, or have an idle policy. Trucks with an APU get 3% idle time. There's no reason to run the truck. I'm not saying drivers to be uncomfortable. There's no reason to run it. You have to, it can't be all adversarial. I always say we should get paid or whatever, but you also have to work with the company. They're providing an APU so you can shut the truck off. So shut the truck off, save them money. Everybody's happy, and we all do better. It's simple. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. It's their truck. They're giving you an APU, so turn off the truck. This seems simple. Caleb, everyone you talk to, tell them to go to the Dollar Tree. 5.5 days of working your home. It's just too much work for me. I can't take it. Schneider tried the final mile because J.B. Hunt does good with it. J.B. Hunt has been doing that for a while. I agree. And so Schneider's like, we're going to get in on that. And there were other companies too, they said. And so it was just too packed, and Schneider didn't do a good job in it. And so now they're done with it, just suddenly. We should have a petition for roller wieners at the Aaron Skillet. Yes, I agree. I've seen some of these small loves not have them, and I'm just horrified. A tornado is not, they're like, we have tornadoes. I go, that's not a substitute. You can't just substitute like that. That 10 miles from the critic, that's 10 miles that I saw. Who knows how long he was driving like that. If you're smoking your brakes, why do you not know about it? Hey, mirrors, can we check out our mirrors? GP Transco says, oh, you do have an idle policy of 5% when equipped. That's good. Amazing how bad constant idling is when it comes to maintenance. Exactly. Turn the thing off. Look, I read the owner's manual when I got this truck. Even in the winter, it says to just start the truck and drive it. Start it 20 seconds, drive it away, no matter how cold it is. The manufacturers do not want you idling the truck. So if they're going to give you an APU, I think it's, part our side then, okay, I can be comfortable, then I'm going to turn off the truck. We work together. We want to be paid, but then, oh, hey, we're going to provide this. All right, I'm going to turn off the truck for you. Then everybody's happy. They're happy. You're comfortable. I mean, how is this a lose situation? Drivers, there has to be some kind of fine, or, well, not a fine, I guess, but I guess we write them up and then fire them for over idling when they have an APU. There's no excuse for running the truck. Adam says engine brake class got to learn how to control trucks without brake because a new brake they use without asbestos catches on fire and burn up truck and load. Oh, that's crazy. So we can't use asbestos now because it's some kind of environmental problem. And even when he stopped, he was smoking like a barbecue grill. Yeah, because the wind was at least keeping the fire out of there. The guy probably almost caught on fire. APU's a quarter gallon in an hour versus the engine, which is 1.5 to 2 gallons. I've always heard the APU is about 1/10 of a gallon an hour, and the engine is like 8/10 to 1 gallon per hour. At least that's what's on the display. I don't have an APU on this truck, but the display is 8/10 an hour running idle. Heard APUs break down a lot, so it actually costs more in some cases to have them instead of idling. Well, the critic for this situation at GP Transco, these are company trucks. What they're saying is if your APU works, you got to turn off your truck. So I guess it would be up to them to figure out if it costs more. I don't think it does. I think, the whole thing's only like $8,000. It's worth replacing the whole thing than replacing an engine. If you idle too much, you get premature bearing wear in the engine. If anything, raise your idle up to 1,000. They don't remember the exact specific usage from the APU. They have EPUs also, really. And I'd like to know, how long do those last? The new ones are pretty great, actually, and have zero emissions, right? How long, that's an interesting question. How long will the EPU last in hours on full blast? So somebody blasts the air, it's in Houston. Will that thing last? GP says, yeah, 1/10 to 1/8 of a gallon an hour. That's what I thought, right. If you don't know you're smoking the brakes, you don't need to be driving. Somebody should have pulled this license. Was this some Russian guy with a long, weird name? Oh, somebody wrote to me that this week, too. The New Hampshire, an astute viewer. I don't like to use people's names that don't tell me to. The guy in New Hampshire, remember that had the accident and killed those motorcyclists? Okay. That guy, the police said now, was on an unspecified drug. So he was on some kind of drug. They wouldn't say what it was, which I thought was curious, but that was in the news article. So, okay, he was on drugs. Now we know that. I mean, what more do we need from this? Why? It's just crazy. If this is not a life without parole sentence, I don't know what to say. I don't think that state allows the death penalty. So it's certainly got to be life without parole for the New Hampshire motorcycle accident. Super sad. The critic says he thinks his brakes are stuck. Michael, do the APUs have enough power to power a roller arena stand? Oh, yeah. I think if you plug it in, I think so. 20 West is a flat road. How are you smoking your brakes there? The DEF system and engines are the main reason idling hurts. Replacement of those filters is $8,000 a filter. Yikes. Oh, I wonder if there's that's a good question for GP Transco. Is it in a warranty? Is there an idle limit for them to be replaced under warranty? Sometimes they have some kind of warranty and idling thing. Adam, something burning. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's my brakes. You enjoy the APU quiet and comfortable. That's what I've always found, too. Super nice. As long as they work fine, air runs fine, heat runs fine, you're all set in there. Why would you want to run the truck? Robert, the guy that killed the bikers, was a video of him getting arrested a few months prior. This is the new case there was a video of him getting arrested. That is true. He had several arrests. But in this New Hampshire case, because the news article was sent to me, they did find drugs. They did a blood test and all that. So it said that there were drugs in the system. I mean, this didn't even have to happen. Schneider's laying off workers and drivers in Green Bay. That's true, right? I saw 85 people in Green Bay. It was in the Green Bay Times or whatever. Okay, so the EPU lasts 10 hours on full blast. When the battery dies, the truck starts and idles For a few minutes, the recharger turns off. The idle time becomes 2-3%. Oh, all right. So you could run it 34 hours that way if somebody was out. That's good. Okay, idling above 10% when the truck is with an APU does not go over well. That's what I thought. I bet there's some kind of warranty issue, too, at a high idle. They're not going to replace these expensive parts because the owner's manual and that tells you not to idle the truck. So from a standpoint of the company, they don't want to pay that stuff, and they shouldn't have to. So, I totally agree. The driver from New Hampshire had flipped a truck 2 months early and he tested positive for several drugs. That's crazy. I mean, how many times does somebody have to be arrested before they don't get back on the streets? So you sweat your butt off hand unloading 3 to 4 trailers a week? I bet the bunk reeks. It sounds like, look, for me, it's too much work, but I said there's a job for everybody. If you like doing it and it pays your bills, have at it. But for me, in my extreme upper 30s, I think I'm beyond the point of unloading, hand unloading a bunch of trailers at customers. You may love it, though. All right. GP Transco, what is the policy in having roller wiener stands inside? I think the stand would have to be outside, but you could run an extension cord, I'm sure, off of that thing and do it no problem, right? I'm sure that wouldn't be any problem. GP Transco is going to draft a roller wiener stand policy. That's good. As long as your idle time didn't exceed the amount, I think you're okay on that. I think that isn't going to be a problem. You just don't want to exceed the idle time, certainly. GP, they're gonna put a roller in. For that. Look, you want to drive for a good company in the middle, Indiana area here, Illinois, Midwest. I don't know what I'm talking about. Go to talk to GP Transco. Holy moly. You're not going to get that anywhere else. I'll say that. That's for sure. This Schneider, look, it was 80. The one I saw was 85 drivers, 85 people up there. And there's going to be some others laid off, but Schneider needs drivers. So the drivers can be recruited into Schneider overall. The office people will probably lose their job or whatever, some of them. And any of that is not good. But the drivers will have a job. There's been a lot of talk about England, too, which unfortunately I can't find any truth to that. England is having problems. Oh, is England having problems? I saw a number of videos about that. They're still recruiting and, they still need people. So I don't know if they're having, hiring problems or anything. I don't find anything. I wish I could get them off of there, but I can't. And I don't see that they're having any real problems. I mean, the USA Truck is having more problems. They're only making $1,000. I mean, holy mac, there are drivers this week that will make more money than USA Truck made the entire quarter. That says something. Robert likes a truck color. I know. Isn't that a great color on the trucks? That's really something. Gorilla did a Family Dollar count for JB several years ago, Southeast Texas in the summer. No. So what we're saying is it's kind of hot. I cannot imagine the front of the trailer. I mean, in the summer, it's just got to be super hot. Now, say this is true and we're getting $2,200 a week. Is it worth $2,200 a week? Is it that hot? I don't know how hot it has to be then. Run a day cab that idles off after 5 minutes, no APU. Depends how long you're in it, right? No, exactly. K. Wayne, the cat couldn't even believe it. The cat is even surprised. Gracie's surprised. I don't know where she is. Caleb, for the Warner Dollar Tree account, I know I'm a diamond glove meant for take showers every day. Well, you're going to need a shower every day. Everybody should get 5 a week, at least. I always said every day, but I'll give you 2 days, but no more than 2 days. And look, you're getting 250 gallons a week somewhere. Somebody's giving you 250 gallons a week of fuel. There just has to be. There can't be any other way to do it. And other people that don't know this, I guess I could say this. Every truck stop has a card. You can go walk up to the fuel desk and say, look, what is the rewards card here at this truck stop? They'll give you a card, and then every time you fuel, you use that card at the pump, or when you walk inside to get fuel, depending on how your company does it, give them that card. They credit that fuel to your card, and after 50 gallons, or like we said earlier, at 15 gallons at the Pilot, you get a half of shower, but most of them it's 50 gallons, you get a shower, and it's good usually for at least 7 days. Some of them are longer than that. So you can get a free shower with every 50 gallons you fuel. And if you do it right and you're at the right company that doesn't give you a fuel route, but just gives you places to fuel, You can fuel at your break in the morning, late morning or whatever, for 50 gallons, and fuel again for 50 or more gallons in the evening when you go to park. And so that way you can stack up fuel points on your card. You stack up showers on your card so that you take one shower but always have an extra shower or two in the background on your card. So go to the fuel desk if you don't know that, if you're new, and get the fuel card for that truck stop and get all of them. Every chain, every truck stop, they all have their own card. Get them all. I haven't found one that costs anything yet, so get all of them. Gorilla says it was brutal, stacked top to bottom with boxes, 2 to 5 stops, little boxes. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like too much work to me. GP Transco, most of the trunk companies you speak with at events have a turnover rate above 90%, which is incredible. Just imagine the money that they put into recruiting. You have 2 recruiters, right? For all your trucks, you only need 2 recruiters. Companies, I never understood companies that have a high turnover and then don't do anything to address the turnover. Why don't they do a survey and ask their drivers and then actually change something about why are people leaving? To have this huge turnover year after year after year at a company, it's got to be just horrible for the company. They have to constantly be training people. Don't you want your people to stay there so that they all know what they're doing? Wild Bill says, who has all this time in their hands to deliver? Well, that's all on duty time, right? I'm sure are we logging that legally as on duty time? I hope. Robert, do I take my cats on the road? How does that work for you? No. I'm home every day and the cats stay here with the wife when I'm not working. CFI says they don't have APUs because the drivers are abusing them. They said if you're hot, sleep with the windows open. No way, really? CFI with the best cup. This is a strong cup holder. So and it's near the bell apparently. So they don't have APUs and they don't let you run the truck at CFI. Is that really policy over there? Wow, Bill, wish you had time to wait. Michael, GP Transco, do you have drivers from Syracuse? Oh, that's interesting. These cards don't give much, but it does add up after time. Those cards. Oh, yeah, the fuel cards. Well, look, you can get, sometimes Pilot runs 10 points a gallon. You get usually a point per gallon at the cards. I should say that. Sometimes Pilots will run 10 points a gallon. I've seen that. And Love's is 4 or 5 points a gallon, depending what level you are. It's something, but the point is the card is where you get your shower. You want that card for your shower. So at least get it for that. And they do add up over time. You get a couple of $100 a year put on there usually, at least. Some people get more than that. So absolutely. Most companies don't care. That's true. But they should care only because of their own bottom line. At least they would care if they had their own bottom line in mind. John, I'm home daily. Can you have your shower points? Please take a shower. Yeah, exactly. I've said that. Right, I get unlimited showers at the Loves. I never use them, so I can get everybody a shower and a drink, apparently. So I'll get you a shower. If you see me somewhere and you're stinking it up, okay, I'll give you a shower. Are there actually companies who target veteran drivers? No, they don't seem to. Some companies, though, say, they have an experience level, so I guess they're targeting veteran drivers that way by not hiring students. You could do it kind of in the reverse, really. Schneider has a huge turnover. Yeah, with household goods miles, I could believe it. When somebody comes in, they're new, they don't know. And so then they're there for a few months and they're like, hey, wait a minute. Because they're at a dock next to somebody getting practical miles, and that person got 50 more miles than they did for the same run. So absolutely. Adam says you can shower at the terminal. Yeah, if you're at a company, not all have it. Some have terminals that have showers. So that's a free way to shower as well. Michael, I keep the cats at home to protect the roller. We understand that wouldn't be any good. I think she would eat them. Adam, you can shower with truck soot. I guess so. That would clean you, sort of. Robert, sleep with the windows open. That's really something to tell a driver that. Well, they're so confident in it that, your first word should be, then I quit. Because that's crazy. I understand new people don't know to ask this stuff. What's your idle policy? Which I believe, if it isn't, it will be, is on my questions on truckinganswersnation.com. I have a whole list of questions you can print out to ask companies when you want to talk to them. You should certainly ask them, what is your idle? Can I idle the truck? Stuff like that. Dashcam, Loves is your food stamp card. Loves is the Snap of trucking. That's one. Oh, I wonder what they would think about that. Probably not much. Earl, I hope you got the email I sent about Schneider the weekend. Yeah, whatever email you sent, I do get on the weekends. Well, Bill, it seems most drivers have too much time on their hands. I'm way too busy and wish you had more time for myself. Yeah, it depends on the road, but the time on your hands on the road is watching Netflix in the middle of nowhere, though. Brockwood, Schneider runs a lot of intermodal to Atlanta for Norfolk Southern Railroad. Do you have any opinion of intermodal work? I only did it in Chicago, and that was cross-docking it, basically, where I would take it from the UP and take it to, Burlington Northern or something like that. So I haven't done it for the road like that. I don't know how it would be running over scales. I think I'd be a little nervous to run some of these containers over the scales, the chassis, I should say. In case there's anybody on here that deals with chassis and container or whatever, but the chassis or the wheel part of the thing, I'd be nervous on the scales about it. But I only did it in Chicago, back and forth. And then, this was a long time ago, like maybe 1990. And the container and chassis, not in great condition. You were happy to get one where any lights at all worked on it. But we were only taking it 8 miles, so we would just roll it over to the next railroad, and off it went. K. Wayne loves the Roller King. Maybe somebody on here does containers. GP Transco, at the moment, the senior recruiter is chasing a dog around the office that belongs to a new driver on orientation. I do see that you have a policy for pets, which I really like. If you're over the road and you like a pet, right, that's great. Chasing a senior recruiter. Since you have two, the other one is the junior recruiter then. Michael, some terminals don't have a shower. They have a hose by the shop. What you could do is go in where they clean the trucks, too. There's that high-pressure hose. Some of them have that. Or just hit the button where you go through and just walk through where the truck would drive through. Hey, clean. You're clean. Free. Free and clean. CFI policy. Who would do that? S2H. Exactly. Once they tell you that, it's time to start looking for a job. That's an immediate no-go. You cannot be out there without an APU and can't run the truck. They cannot have it both ways. Take a GI shower. I'm afraid to ask to know what that was. A GI shower. It may have been different, right? Well, Bill says, you work in a railroad yard as a spotter. Oh, really? So you deal with containers and chassis and stuff, you're saying then. Okay, so the chassis is verified as the wheel part of the container chassis combo, is what we're saying. Would you be nervous taking those over the scale? I mean, it used to be years ago that some of them weren't in great condition. They're better now, probably, but not then. Larry, why did trucks go from the stacks to the under truck exhaust? Well, the DPF, you'd have to have a DPF on both exhausts if you have this dual exhaust. And so just running that out underneath, I think is part of the emissions thing. That's what I think. Ours all do the same thing, by the way. All the Cascadias coming in have an under exhaust, which I kind of like in the winter because I can sit there and idle the truck for a few minutes and burn a spot on the dock, basically, where it's dry. So if you're in an angle dock and it's all snowy, you can burn a dry spot and get some momentum to get out of the dock. So I kind of like it. I saw a video on CFI. They want company drivers to pay for tire change. Really? No way. Now that's a company. That would be company property, and I would say no way. Of course, you should have quit in the summer when they tell you can't run the truck. If you sleep with the windows open, you may wake up dead. That's true. What about in the winter time at CFI? Can you run the truck for heat? How do they tell you to keep warm then? What have I heard about Carolina Logistics out of Chandler, North Carolina? I don't know. Has anybody heard of that place? Diesel fuel is a refreshing summer beverage? Maybe. For the truck. Seems like every container I get behind has something wrong with it. No lights, blown tire. So nothing has changed then. So K. Wayne pulls containers from Kansas to California every week. What do you think? Are the chassis okay for the road? I mean, since you do it, do you have to get any of them fixed? What's the story? Yeah, DA is going to take a recommendation for showering the truck wash. Yeah, I've seen companies that have this automatic wash. You can pull in, right? They have like a wash bay at the end of their building. You hit a button and drive the truck through or whatever. You could just get in there, hit the button, but then just get out and walk through it, right? It seems like it'd be really clean and probably waxed. Schneider has no idea how to do LTL freight. Some chassis have a pre-trip inspection done on them before they have a can put on them. Okay, but are they any good for the road? They probably tell you to crawl into the hood for heat in winter. I can't remember the name of the company that used to say, maybe it was Swift years ago. I'm not going to pin that on Swift. Run the truck. As you're coming up to where you're going to park in the winter, blast the heat in the sleeper and in the front. and then jump in bed when you park, and then it would be warm all night. I can't remember the name of the place that did that. A YouTuber named Billy Range drives for CFI, and he seems to love it. He says they are a good company. Yeah, I've seen his videos. Billy's out there talking about CFI. I agree. He's kind of a funny guy. James Faust is going to play with a Super 10. Really? Super 10. You would have to play it because it's all you can do with them, right? They're not of any use to for really anything else other than in museums. K. Wayne says they inspect the chassis and so do you. But how are the chassis? You inspect it. Do you find a lot of problems, or are they mostly ready to run the road, across the country? Are they ready to go out of the rail yard? Because that would be my problem with it, just from doing it. But that's been a long time ago. We're talking 1990-ish when I used to run these things. CFI can't find income. Look, I'll tell you, they have the best cup holders going. But if they don't let you run the truck and they don't have an APU, that should be it. Nothing else matters. If you can't live in a truck and sweat to death, who's going to sleep at 100 degrees at night? You going to sleep in Houston with the windows open? Oh my gosh, that kind of invites people to come and talk to you. I'm not sure. So K. Wayne says, all right, they're ready to go. So that's interesting. So the containers are ready to go there. If not, you swap them out. I had a lot of problems, but we weren't taking them far. So we didn't really care how far they went because they were just going around the corner, basically. That's what the cat thinks about mega cares, certainly, and not letting you run your truck when you're asleep. But she doesn't have any problem sleeping because it's temperature controlled in here. And if it wasn't temperature controlled, she'd probably quit too. I mean, who would really stay there? And I don't know if that's true. I would have to find out what their idle policy is. J. James, CFI is dumb because, if anyone goes back, beats the truck to the... Look, running the truck, what do they want drivers to do? Did they put all their money into cup holders? Not to mention the heat and that will radiate from the engine exhaust for the next 3 hours. Yeah, they said, look, you'll be comfortable. You'll just be comfortable because of, it's already warm in there. Wild Bill, can't find income. Oh, that's a good one. S2H, love the cat. She's a rescue cat. We like Gracie. We got her from Lori's Kitty Rescue, who I'm a big supporter of. GP Transco, interesting trivia. What would you say is the most damaging freight in a dry van trailer? We'll start loose cotton. Oh, why would loose cotton damage a trailer? Because it sticks everywhere? A lot of my road work was in reefers, and I don't know about damaging, but I found potatoes to be a disaster. I will say that. Potatoes were the worst because they were loaded on the floor by a conveyor belt, and they would get stuck in the grooves. All the weight would compact them into the grooves, and then it took forever at the truck wash to get them out. So I don't know what else would damage. It seemed the most damage I would ever see in a van is by the forklift drivers running along the sides and ripping the plywood out of the side of the thing. So happy to upgrade to Duraplates because there were metal inside and they couldn't damage them as much. Would I be willing to do some homework and do a video on container hauling? Yeah, I would. I would think somebody that does containers would be able to do the video better than me because I don't know anything about it currently other than the local job that I did. Let's get a container hauler out here to get a video themselves. Luke, no freaking integrity for NFI? Do you not get to idle the truck there? CFI told a female driver to sleep with the windows open. She said it's not even safe for a man. It's not safe for anybody. They don't know who's inside there. I wouldn't sleep with the vent open or, even the side window open. No way. CP Transco seconds me on potatoes. Loose cotton goes in every crack and never leaves. Yeah, you would get that stuck. I've never seen anybody haul potatoes in a van, but I guess it's certainly possible. They stuck in every groove all the way down. The whole trailer had potatoes stuck in it. So they had to be dug out, every groove, and then the whole thing cleaned. It was a total disaster. It took almost longer to clean it because the potatoes, they went to Frito-Lay actually right up here, and the whole trailer just got dumped up like this. You'd lifted the whole trailer up and the potatoes came out, except the ones that were still stuck in it. And as you drove down the road with the potatoes, your weight shifted because the load would flatten out. So they were forward, but then by the time you got to the end, they were in the back. Or farther back than they were. Earl says Snyder trucks don't have APUs either, but if it's 71 or hotter, the truck will stay running and you can use the AC. Okay, I mean, that's better than nothing. The ground is still, if you parked and it was 70, the ground might have been heated for the day. I just don't like it. You should be the one that decides. You know, not everybody can sleep when it's 71 degrees and humid. 70 and humid. I don't know. It's just not a great idea. Wouldn't they be better off just for having an APU in the trucks? Dashcam, no temp control is illegal if you have a pet in the truck. It's okay if you're just a human. Yeah, if you want to suffer, it's no problem. That's what you always carry when on the road. Yeah, but somebody can throw something in there on you, like a roller wiener. What if they threw a scalding roller wiener in there when you were sleeping? Is a sleeper considered a night cab? A day cab driven at night? A night cab? Oh, that's good. So I run a night cab. I never thought about that. So you can leave the windows open? You could. I don't know if anybody would do that. It doesn't seem like the greatest idea to do. I can't imagine a company that wants you to leave the windows open. It's just crazy where they say, oh, leave open the windows. I've never heard. There have been other people on YouTube that talk about CFI. No one has ever said anything like you can't run the truck and they don't have an APU. I mean, I thought that they had cameras, and I thought that was a big enough problem. From what I understand, then to not run the truck too and no APU, I mean, this cup holder, it can't cover all that. I mean, sure, it's great. It's a tough cup holder, but I mean, holy mackerel. I don't know if that's going to overcome all those things. Man, it's sitting right by the bell. Frito-Lay in Frankfurt is the worst place to load. I never loaded there. But they do hire all the time, I will say that. But they always advertise, too, that it's a lot of work and that you might be gone several nights at a time. So that's not going to work for me anymore. They do run ads that it pays good after like 6 years or whatever. I don't know. JB Hunt allows drivers to idle their trucks because they want well-rested drivers. That's correct, Kim says, and I agree. Doesn't the company want you to get a good night's sleep? Why do they want you tossing and turning all night? It doesn't make any sense. GP Transco has a question for everybody. How do you go about looking for a new carrier when you consider new employment? Where do you search on Google or social media do you check, and what do you look for? That's interesting. Wild Bill, another census or roller wiener incident. Yeah, you do not waste your wieners throwing them in just random trucks. I will say that. What do people think about this Swift lawsuit as I wrap up here, where CRST sues Swift, even though they don't have a contract with Swift, and wins $15 million, which is actually more than they would have made had the 250 drivers that they sued about actually paid them the $6,000 they are saying that they're owed. Isn't that amazing? Rather than get the money, $6,000 from 250 drivers, they went and got 15 million drivers from Swift. That's really something. Where's the phone holder? Right there. CFI phone holder. I don't have a picture myself there, so there it is, and it's still doing good. Sam says your company has optimized idle. I like it for most part and have gotten used to the truck. I've had it. I mean, I'm not a biggest fan of it, right? And I agree with you. You do get used to it. Your neighbors don't like it as much as you do. I will say that. At least they're doing something to keep you comfortable, though. Kim, he goes to trucking. Kim goes to trucking answers for we're on my recruiting questions. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I do have a list of questions for people that don't know at truckinganswersnation.com. You can just download them and print them out or whatever you want. And find the questions that fit you, what fits your life, and ask every recruiter the same thing. And then you have like a chart you can compare everybody that you want to go to. CFI takes a cent per mile if you have a pet in the truck, kind of like a pet fee. Some of them charge a fee. Heck, they charge a fee at my apartment here. So I know all about paying for a pet. The pet has health insurance too. Gracie has health insurance, so I have to pay for that too. So Chrome Daddy, look for companies that don't run hardly any ads, and you never hear. They're usually the best ones. The companies that have to, every time you open every kind of social media and their ad pops up, they cannot be that great. They're spending thousands and thousands of dollars on ads. They ought to spend that on their drivers. That's not cool. Pets lead to happy drivers. Yes, see, so having your pet with you could lead to a better driver. They're maybe happier, nicer in traffic. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it should cost the company, but they also shouldn't leave your truck like a Chernobyl disaster where nobody can use it for 22 years and it turns into a tourist trap either. They shouldn't be doing that. Yikes. Wild Bill, you arranged your schedule. You have Mondays off from now on. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So you've quit your job like you said you were going to. And I think it's about time that you did that. You told them what's what and that you're not going to be working there anymore. That's good. Look, CFI will fill your truck, no problem. I've been listening to your podcast. Great stuff. Oh, thank you. I haven't done any more in a while. I did get back to the blogging, and I'm going to get back to the podcast too. So the more are coming. So just subscribe to it. And then, in your podcasting app thing, I have a podcast for people that don't know about it. When I do a new one, you'll just automatically get it. I'm a big podcast listener to a lot of podcasts. So thank you for listening and saying that. I appreciate it. Caleb, where are you checked for new careers for trucking? Is that truck and answers? Exactly. Had air conditioning your truck in the 70s, 2 windows down at 55. Well, that's true, James. Starting, I will say over the road. I never had a truck over the road, even in my whole career, that didn't have air conditioning. I did have a lot of local trucks when I was working locally early that did not have air. They just didn't, an old R model Mac and stuff. I don't know when the air stopped working. Probably 10 years before I got the truck. So, but over the road, I can't remember a place on the road that didn't have air conditioning. Okay, Wayne looks for good truck pay per week. Do most people care about weekly pay or yearly salary? I'm going to say that most people say they care about pay, but I'll tell you this. The people that write to me, it's not that much about pay. Sometimes it is where you're making $300 or $400 a week. It's usually that they're being mistreated. Yep. Like, can't get home. They said I could get home. I put the thing in, I can't get home. It's usually some kind of treatment thing. I'm being sat here. Well, that affects your pay, but I'm just not, no one will answer my calls. It's that kind of thing that seems to aggravate people the most. And that's not just me. That's in surveys that large places survey thousands of drivers. Pay is never the number one problem. Big Huge Mike, can't wait for the podcast. Oh, all right. Thank you very much. I need to get back to those too, because I did resurrect the blog. I'm rearranging stuff. The whole month of July was crazy. So put too much time into some things that didn't matter and not enough in other things. So I got to change that around. Dwight Harris, did it go through Arizona last year? Holy mackerel, I hope not. Wild Bill, I'm spoiled. I just got lucky, I think, over the road that I always had a truck with air conditioning that worked. And when it didn't work, I could get it fixed. And now, of course, I mandate it's got to have air conditioning. I'll drive the rest of the day, but then you got to fix it. Okay, so it's not like you have to come and tow the truck away. I'm not like that, but I want the air fixed for sure. And they're good about it. They'll fix the air. So, and like companies should be. I'm not, they shouldn't say, well, we'll work for 3 more weeks and we'll fix it. No, the air needs to work in the truck. And this truck is still under warranty, so it's not like any problem for them to fix them. We notice new drivers care more about weekly pay. Yearly does not make a difference. Yeah, people can't, the smaller the segment is, the easier it is for people to digest it, just like food. You can't shove an entire roller wiener in your mouth. You got to take a bite by bite of it. So weekly pay works out better than yearly pay. $52,000 doesn't seem like as much as $1,000 a week to people. So absolutely, I think that we'd find that everywhere, right? Johnny, did I see the YouTuber that threw everything on the truck while driving on the road today? No. I was doing everything for this show. Monday morning until the show starts is all show prep. Although you could hardly tell, believe me. He threw everything from a jug to hard hat safety book. How stupid is that? Well, I'll say this. On YouTube, it could be anything. It could be set up. I could set a camera up, drive by it, throw everything out of the truck, and say I'm quitting or whatever, and then I got a lot of views. I don't know. I haven't watched it. Could be real. Could have said, hey, you know what? Forget this place. I'm out of here. Never know. Right? You just never know what is legitimate. So I didn't see it, don't know who it is or anything, so I'll have to go check it out. Don't know the story behind it. Always think they're on something that's crazy, way out of the norm or whatever, especially on a platform like YouTube, could be a setup. Never know. After 23 years, watch the pennies, dollars work themselves out. Oh, okay, Wayne. See, I do the exact opposite. I say, don't sweat the small stuff. When you worry about the big stuff, you got plenty to pay for the small stuff. So I do it the totally opposite way, which is a different way to do it, right? James Faust, it was rare for trucks in the mid-70s to have air. Yes, you've got time on me for sure. And so you would have been much rarer. My truck in 89, when I started on the road, right, I went initially local, but then in 89 it rode at Regal. The truck was like an 86, an 85 or 86, whatever year was the first T600. I think it was one of the first years of it. And it had air. And so, and from then on, Rheem water heaters and, North American van lines, these all had air conditioning. So I never had a problem with air. It always just seemed to have air. Local jobs like Park Ridge Transport in Chicago and that Mac, that just had those little door windows that open up by your feet. There wasn't any air. There wasn't even any heat in it in the winter. But on the road, I always managed to get air conditioning. Chrome Daddy says, you've been at it for 15 years. You have a yearly salary, which is, of course, excellent. I want to treat you well and get you home. Right. So that's the thing. If a company says, you put in for a request Saturday, and they go, okay, you can be home Saturday, and you're not home, that's super aggravating. Then money doesn't matter. That home time, because you can't buy time back. That's what I try to say to people. That time, you can't buy that back. Some people can eat a whole roller wiener in one bite, big, huge Mike, but you want to savor it. You want to savor that roller wiener. Spud says it was Bubba Nesbitt. All right, I'll have to check that video out. I didn't see, I didn't see it or hear anything about it. Have you ever heard about MAPCO and hauling fuel for them? No. What I've seen online, they seem like pretty good. Anything I can add? Well, I haven't heard of them, but I will say every fuel place I've ever seen pays really good. And they're usually home daily, although I guess there's probably some road fuel. But usually the ones like around Pilot is down in Crawfordsville, which is 20 miles south of me here. And that pays excellent, and they're home every day. So any fuel ones I've ever talked to, people or whatever, seem to pay good. While Bill had a Mac, one stack Mac with a window in the back. Was it a half cab one stack Mac with a window in the back? I'll send a copy of my paychecks. Where would you send this? The email is on the screen. I'll apply then at GP. Yeah, look, it's certainly worth calling places and seeing about them. Always. So I want to wrap up as I go out to GP Transco. Thank you for being here in the chat as you have been for weeks now. I appreciate you taking all your time in here to answer drivers' questions when you're running a huge corporation. Thank you to Blue Parrot for the headsets, of which there'll be more coming soon to people's to go on their heads. Of course, Jade Auto Transport Intel. Be sure to watch the show at 8 p.m. live Central Time tomorrow on Tuesdays. He's there every week. So the cat is headed to sleep as well. Gracie, thanks everybody for being here as well. And that is going to be it. I have to go make my company some money or they will go broke, presumably also. Tom Jones, has there been any feedback from Trucking Truth? No, there has not been, and there wasn't earlier. I don't know if I will get any. They can write to me as well. I'd be happy to talk to that guy and explain to him how trucking works and stuff, since he doesn't drive or anything. That would be really great. Luke, am I off on Monday or do I never sleep? No, I'm getting ready to go to work now to run an entire route into the night. So there I go. TT40, thank you for being here. Well, Bill, the R model was a full, you had the full cab. So, okay, the U model was the half cab. Sorry, right. I was half cab, one stack Mac with a window in the back. Okay, Wayne, thanks for being here. Yaffa, hey, what's going on, Yaffa? Thanks for coming in. Robert B., I appreciate you coming in. Chrome Daddy, thank you for coming in every week. And GP Transco, thank you. And everybody for coming in every week. We're here live every Monday at 1 p.m. Big, huge Mike, thanks for coming in. Watch those roller wieners. You don't want the news headlines to say Big, huge Mike dead from choking on a wiener. We don't want to see that. So Mob Trucker, CDL schools are sad. That was 1907. My school was 1595 in 1988. So $1,595.88. So Johnny, thanks for coming in. What happened to FMCSA? I will wrap up with that they said they don't have a new date. They go, hey, we missed it. No new date. We'll let you know, literally. So now there's not even a date for them to announce the hours of service. As soon as it's announced, I'll come out. I check for it every day. I'll put a video immediately about it. But there's been no further announcement. Great, FMCSA. So remember, every date's delayed is another day that the law is delayed for implementation. I don't know what to say. That's as far as they went on it. So there you go. Headed back to work. And thanks for being here. I'll see you next Monday.